live. Welcome to the Let's Get Inspired live vlog. My name is Brad. This is the Inspirational Ambivert channel. This is episode, what are we on now? Episode 73. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's the 21st of December. It's the beginning of the winter solstice, isn't it? So the days begin to get lighter from today. So that's a good thing, I suppose. The sun starts to be reborn again, kind of logic applies with that. Let me just adjust my camera a little bit, the best I can. So yeah, what am I talking about today? I'm talking about 3D, 4D and 5D consciousness. I'm going to explain those levels and basically like in relation to spiritual awakening to an extent. This is basically what everything that I talk about on my channel, which is all about growth, self-development, dealing with toxic people, etc., etc., probably all falls under this in a way. They're all different topics, I get it, but what am I working towards as a person, as a human, the best I can, is to raise my consciousness levels to become more, I suppose, to an extent, more enlightened to an extent, to become less affected by these heavier energies, to rise above it in my own way. And I'm going to be discussing those things today, the best I can, of course. I'll just adjust the camera. So let's begin with, one moment, I'll just get a pen or a pencil, that'll help me. So, sorry about that. So off we go. Welcoming everyone. I'm glad that you're here. Today we'll be talking about 3D, 4D and 5D consciousness. What those terms actually mean in real life, in the reality of life, let's say, and why so many people feel unsettled, why so many people feel triggered, or they're feeling in between right now. I'm going to be referring to my notes as well, of course, just to be open and honest. I want to say this clearly at the start, though. This isn't about escaping reality. This is not what this is about. It's not about being above anyone else. It's not about thinking that we're better than other people because we're on a different consciousness level. It's just different. That's all it is. It's not about that. And it's not about pretending that life doesn't hurt, because life will still hurt no matter what consciousness level you're at, in my opinion. It's how you interpret it, how you deal with it, how you react to it. This is about how we experience reality internally. That's what we can control, our internal experiences and our reactions to things, and how that experience is changing constantly. The only thing that constant in life is change, isn't it? If you have been feeling more aware, so you just started to become more aware, starting to see things as they are, the ugly truths of life. Sometimes you become more sensitive, you become a more, let's say, emotionally aware, emotionally intelligent. When you become more insensitive, you're becoming more reflective, you're looking at how you're reacting. But you're becoming more aware, basically. It's going to be confusing to begin with. Because these things, if you're just seeing things as they are for the first time, sometimes you don't see things as they are play out within social interactions until you get a bit older, or before you become more aware, it opens your eyes a little bit. Well, this live is for you. It's all about awareness. It's all about growth. That's what my channel is all about. This isn't going to be attractive to everybody. It just isn't. But this is what I'm about. This is what my channel's about. And this 3D, 4D and 5D, it's in my opinion, everything that I talk about becomes under all of this. That's why I'm talking about this today. Only certain individuals will be drawn to this, in my opinion, to this type of content. But anyway, so let me just put in here, what is 3D consciousness? So I'm just going to type this in. And some people might think, do you know what? I don't even believe in any of this, which is absolutely fine. Everyone's got their own opinions. Everyone's got their own thoughts. So, but what is 3D consciousness? I'm going to talk about that. What the hell is it? In a moment, I'll just put this up there so people know what I'm talking about. Here we go. So let me have a sip of water before I begin. I'll just type that in. There we go. So what is 3D consciousness? What is it? What am I talking about? We're going to start with that, of course. Jenny Russell says hi. Hi, Jenny. My name's Brad. Hi, how are you? Good morning. I'm talking about 3D, 4D, and 5D consciousness, about New Earth theory, basically. That's what I'm talking about today, Jenny. I don't know if you believe in that type of thing. Maybe not everybody does. But that is what you're good. Good to hear. Hope you're okay, Jenny. Good to hear that you're good. It's the, what's it called today? It's the winter solstice today, isn't it? The day started to get lighter today, which is brilliant. Anyway, I'll go to the comments in a moment, but I'm going to crack on with this. So what 3D consciousness really is, it's survival mode. A lot of the humanity, a lot of people, and we all dip into this, in my opinion. I dip into this consciousness level sometimes. I used to be in it all the time at one point in my life. Now, less so, a lot less so. However, I do dip into it sometimes. So let's talk about what that is. It's basically, it's the default mode of a human being. It's not wrong. It's just unconscious. It's not like it's horrible. Some people can behave horribly in an unconscious state. Of course they bloody can. And they can be really toxic. Not all of them. Not everyone that's in the 3D consciousness level. They're basically unconscious. They're not aware of who they are. They're not aware of the thoughts. They're just basically, I suppose in a way, it's like being blind in a way. That's my interpretation. So 3D is survival mode, the human survival mode. That is basically, let's cover that, ego identity. What the hell's ego identity? So it's, you can tie, we all do it to an extent. Your ego can be tied towards your car. That's my car. That's an extension of my body in a way. Ego identity is tied to your job, to your title of your job. People think they become the job, don't they? They get too egotistical about it sometimes, which could be deemed to be toxic. What else is there? Ego identity. They just ego's identity. Sorry, I'm trying to get the words out the best I can. It's this egotistical behaviors, isn't it? Everything's external. Everything's outside of yourself. Your ego is tied to your external validation, therefore. It's like, if I get likes on Facebook, if I get people liking my content or whatever it is, that makes me feel good. And if I don't get that external validation, I feel bad. If I tell a joke, for example, if people laugh at my joke, I've got that external validation. That is another version of that, isn't it? External validation. I'll read the comments quickly. Jenny's asking, quick question. Do you know XXX Tenticon? No, I don't. No, I don't, Jenny. Is that like a rapper that passed away? Is it? Forgive me if I'm wrong, or a singer or an artist that passed away. Forgive me if I'm wrong. That's my answer to that, Jenny. So that's external validation. It's what people thrive off. The world is full of approval monkeys, or the world is full of approval junkies. That's yeah. Jenny's saying yes to what a question. Yes, that's fine. I've got it right then. Thanks. So I do know it is. So that external validation is basically the mercy of everybody else. So when you're in a 3D level of consciousness, you're at the mercy of everyone's approval or disapproval, and that can change with the wind. 1 minute you're the king, everyone loves you, you're getting praised, whatever, for whatever you've done. The next day, or the next week, or the next year, or whenever, you could not be getting so much praise. So the people's opinions and their feelings change with the wind, and you can't control those things. But if you're in a 3D level of consciousness, you're just at the mercy of all these wants and whims of others. You're basing your self-worth on external validation, and this insecurities can lead you down troublesome paths potentially. It's like, I need to keep up with the Joneses. I need that external validation. I'm in a 3D level of consciousness. So what am I going to do? I'm going to buy this car. I can't afford this car, but I'm going to buy it, and it's going to cripple me financially. And it's all just so I can impress people I don't know with the car, for example. It might be a brand new Audi, really nice Audi. It's costing me £700, £800 a month just for the car and finances. I don't even own the car, but the monthly payments are so expensive. But because I'm so insecure, I live in a 3D level of consciousness. I have to buy that car so people don't think that I'm poor. People think that I'm winning in life, that I'm rich. So I'm giving the illusion of being rich. But the reality is, a lot of the time, no one cares really about what car you have. People are just worried about themselves a lot of the time. And if you're going to be too drawn into that external validation, you're going to make decisions that are going to cost you loads of money. It's going to cause you suffering potentially because you're paying for that car. This is just an example. That really expensive car, just to impress loads of people that you don't fucking know a lot of the time. They don't really know you. And you're going to have to work your ass off, and you have to make sacrifices just to keep that car. Some people do that. Some people live like that. It's a very fearful, it's a 3D consciousness level, basically. A lot of people live like that, especially in the age that we live with consumerism, isn't it? Capitalism that we're living under at the moment. I'll move on the best I can. I'll talk the best I can. So now another one, I'll move on. Let me just have a sip of water. Is reactivity. Reactivity. So if you're in a 3D level of consciousness, you're reacting all the time. You're having knee-jerk reactions. You're not very thoughtful of you're not really looking at yourself at all. If you're 3D conscious, if you're unconscious in your thinking, you're not thinking much. You're not deeply thinking much. Let me just read the comment. Millie, hi Millie, how are you? Are you okay? Good to have you with us, by the way. I hope you're all right. She's saying, I pray you and everyone in this life lives a long and healthy and happy life. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Thank you. That's really kind, Millie. Thank you. Sending love and respect back to you too. That's very nice of you to say. The world needs more of that, Millie. So thanks. That's really nice of you to say. So as I was saying, I keep going the best I can. I'll go with the comments the best I can as well. That 3D level of consciousness is reactive, having reactive responses. And it's knee-jerk reactions some of the time. So people just, they're reactive to what's going around them externally. And that's going to look ugly sometimes. So somebody might say something rude to you and you react really angrily and you're shouting and you're pissed off, whatever you want to call it. And you're reacting to life, really. Instead of being proactive, you're being reactive and you're getting annoyed by circumstances more. Your car breaks down, you get really angry, you get really upset. You exacerbate the situation. You make the situation bigger than it needs to be. Would be an example of that reactivity. It's not conscious, it's unconscious. You're not fully in control of your mind or your soul, in my opinion, if you're unconscious. You're not completely aware. It's like walking around blind, walking around with your eyes closed. You're limited. In my opinion, if you stay in that state, we're all been in that state. I'll be in that state again at some point, briefly at the very least, because I'm not perfect. I'm human myself. Millie saying you're here. I'm new here. I'm from California. Oh, amazing. Oh, wow. I'm from Northwest England, by the way, Millie, which is near Manchester, as a point of reference in England, if that helps. Manchester United, if you've heard of that football team, if that helps you with regards to geography. How's life in California is the question, Millie. Is life good there? California is a huge place, isn't it? Whereabouts in California are you from? So, yeah, what was I going to... I'll carry on speaking the best I can. TMFM. I'm going to call you TMFM. Hi, my name's Brad, by the way. You're saying Hitman K. Hitman K. What does that mean? Millie's saying that she's an hour away from Los Angeles. Okay. So you're not banging the city centre. in the suburbs. I'm assuming. Forgive my, I don't know much about California, but I know it's a big state, and I know that it's basically, America's huge, isn't it? Absolutely huge, and it's a big state. I know that, and I'm sure it has its problems, but it's a very successful state overall, I'd say. TMFM saying Hitman. Okay. I don't know what that means, mate, to be honest with you. I have no idea what that means, TMFM. So you're living up in the mountains. So, wow, I bet that's nice. I bet that sounds lovely, by the way. Yeah, I'm just picturing it in my mind at the moment. So this 3D level of consciousness, it's going to put, without reactivity, it could be, stress is going to bother you, money's going to bother you, relationships are going to bother you, you're reacting to everything, you're not in control of your own you've not got your own internal validation. It's, a lot of people live like this. They're not aware of themselves. They're not aware of, imagine if I just walk around the world and I'm just being me, okay? And then I upset people because I'm not very nice, or I'm shouting at people. I'm just not being a very nice person. An unconscious 3D level of consciousness, an unconscious person, if I was at that level, I wouldn't be aware of who I'm hurting or what I'm doing. I'll just be thinking that I'm right all the time. I'm right all the time, even though I'm hurting others. That's unconscious. That's what can happen a lot of the time with a lot of people. It's kind of like lost, like walking around blind. I'm just fumbling around life, not being my best self. It's not a good way to be, in my opinion. Some people aren't aware of what they're doing. A lot of humanity are like that. And it can be difficult for people that are a bit more aware or a bit more sensitive, let's say, to be able to deal with that shit. Because you've got to be able to deal with these types of people that are causing others harm. Sometimes it's intentional. Some people cause other people harm intentionally, and sometimes they don't mean to. They don't know what they're doing. It depends what type of person that is, of course. So in 3D, I'll refer to my notes again. In 3D, life feels like something's happening to you. You're not in control properly. Your mood is controlled by circumstances. Your worth feels conditional. It's like conditional love, isn't it? Your mood is controlled by the winds about what's happening today. If I don't get this job, I'm going to be miserable. If I don't have £1 million, I'm going to be miserable. That type of thinking, a scarcity type of mentality. I have not got enough. I'm jealous of that person that lives in that other house. They've got a better car than me. I'm not happy about that. Scarcity, fearful mindsets are going to be in relation to the 3D consciousness level. The inner critic is also going to be loud here. The inner critic is like a fear-based mindset, is going to be running wild potentially in a 3D level of consciousness. Comparison is basically constant. Comparison is the thief of joy. I love this saying. Comparison is the thief of fucking joy, mate. It really, really is. There's always going to be someone better looking than you. There's always going to be someone fitter, stronger than you. There's always going to be someone who looks like they're having a better life than you, potentially. They've got a nicer house. They've got a better car. They've got a bigger family, or whatever it is. And if you're in a 3D level of consciousness, it's going to be bothering you all the time. You're comparing yourself to everybody else externally. It's a surefire way to be unhappy, isn't it? Ruts TV, hi Ruts TV. Eyebrow game, crazy, bro. It's just the way my eyebrows are, mate. That's the way they look. I've got some. That's the way they are. Thanks for noticing, though, mate. And I've got no hair, of course. I think I'm just making, just the way they look, Ruts TV. My name's Brad, by the way. Good of you to join us. Thank you to anyone that's liked and subscribed, by the way. I'm going to carry on talking anyway. Yeah, it's just the way it is, Ruts TV, mate. Just the way it is. It's just the way I look. It's all good. I get what you're saying, though. You're saying what you see. I appreciate your honesty. It's all good. So the inner critic is loud in 3D level of consciousness. comparing yourself to everyone constantly. Fear is driving your decisions. Fear is driving your decisions. That's when the people pleaser can come out. Oh, I need to do, everyone's going out, right? Imagine you hate drinking, you don't like it. Some people love it, each their own, whatever. And drinking makes you feel really ill, for example, alcohol. You just don't like it. And then you feel like you need to join in. Everyone's drinking and they want you to drink as well. So the people pleaser in you is scared of letting people, fearful of letting people down. So therefore you drink with everybody else. And then the next day you feel absolutely lousy. You feel lousy for 2 or 3 days afterwards. You've done yourself harm. That would be an example of a fearful type of 3D consciousness level decision that you're going to make. Anyway, I'll carry on the best I can. And the most importantly, if you're at a 3D level of consciousness, you're unconscious basically. You're living your life reactively. You're not really in fucking control. The big thing is you're not even aware that you're like that. A lot of people are like that. They're not even aware. They're not even aware that they're in this constant loop, this constant circle. They don't know they're in it. They're not aware of it. A lot of humanity is at this level. We've all been at this level at one point. Three-dimensional consciousness doesn't mean you're a bad person, though. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just unexamined patterns. It's just unawareness. Lack of awareness, let's say, in other words. I'll do the best I can with this, sorry. Let's have a sip of water. A little rest, a moment. I really wanted to talk about these things today because I think that's what I'm about. I'm about raising my consciousness levels. You know what I mean? I'll go into 4D and 5D consciousness next. But 3D is basically, it's the world that we're living in today. A lot of the world, a lot of humanity's consciousness level is unaware. It really, really is. And it spills out in people's behaviors. And it creates chaos. People, because they're fearful and they want that validation or whatever it is, people that are insecure, therefore fearful, they will behave in certain ways to alleviate that fear. And that behavior can be toxic. It could be putting, imagine I'm really insecure, I'm going to be rude to you just to make myself feel better. A troll would be an example of that. Aidan Johnson says hello. Hi, Aidan. Do you think you're ready for a 6D consciousness? I don't even know what that is, mate. I'm only covering 3, 4, and 5D. And Aidan, do you actually, this is another question, you know, and not everyone could agree with me. That's absolutely fine. Do you think this is a true thing, or do you think it's a load of rubbish? You might think this is a load of rubbish, what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Which is okay. Everyone's got their own opinion. Freedom of speech there as well, Aidan. My name's Brad, by the way. Just to let you know. Am I ready for 3D, 6D consciousness? I don't know what that is. I've only covered up to 5D. I don't know what 6D is, mate. Do you know what 6D is? I don't know. I don't know if I'd achieve that in this life. I don't even know what that is, if I'm honest. I think there's a joke in there, isn't there, Aidan? By the sounds of it. It's all good, man. Yeah, but yeah, so basically people that are unaware, they're going to be fumbling through life in a fearful manner, but not really understanding why they do things. Some people just get into arguments because it makes them feel better. They get an adrenaline kick from those arguments. They're unconscious, though, of why they do things. They just keep doing them. And it can cause you problems in your life, of course. Aiden's saying, I have no idea what's going on, Brad. Can you explain 3D consciousness to me? Okay, I will do in a moment. And P-fouls or craze, that's a different name. I don't care. Is it I don't care? Fair enough. You don't have to care. It's okay. You care about what you want to care about, P-fouls or craze. Sandra's laughing at 6D. Good morning, lovely people. Good morning, Sandra. Hope you're okay. Thanks for joining us. Thank you to everyone else for joining us as well, too. 3D consciousness, just to summarise for you, Aidan. is basically people who are unaware of what they're doing. They're seeking validation from external factors. It's usually fearful types of responses. They're buying a car to impress other people they don't know, for instance. They don't know what they're doing. They have insecurities and fears that they've not worked on or dealt with. They're not aware of their insecurities or fears. However, because they store them deep down within, and then they behave. Some people that are unconscious will bully others. They'll put others down to make themselves feel better, but they won't be aware that they're hurting anybody else. It's basically someone who's not worked on themselves emotionally. An unconscious person will have the emotional maturity of an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old, even though they're an adult. And these adults can be sometimes very, very smart people intellectually. They might be really good at the jobs, but emotionally, they're stunted. They're childish in a way. That's what unconscious would be, in my opinion. It's having a lot of fears and insecurities, not dealing with them, and behaving in a manner that's not healthy or the best. Therefore, it can result in toxic behaviors a lot of the time. Are we all guilty for this as humans? Yes, we are. It's basically a baseline human survival mode would be 3D consciousness. I hope I've explained that. I've explained that the best I can. If anyone's got any other perspectives on that, please share. You might even think, you might be watching thinking, I don't even believe in any of this, what I'm talking about, which is absolutely fine. Honestly, I'm open-minded enough, and I respect other people's opinions, of course. Everyone's not going to think the same as me, which is okay. That's the way it should be, really. Not everyone's going to agree. Anyway, so let me go to, Sandra's saying good morning to lovely people. Good morning, lovely people. Sandra's saying, I've got a quote for today's winter solstice. Thank you, Sandra. That's a good one. Thank you. Turbo Tony. Hi, Turbo Tony. How are you? Let me read what you have to say. 3D consciousness will be pro-migration until it affects you directly. Can you elaborate, Turbo Tony, please? Thanks for sharing. What do you mean by that? Like pro-migration, I'm not understanding completely what you're saying. Forgive me. I'm not perfect myself. Can you elaborate if possible? No pressure. If you don't want to, that's fine. But if you can elaborate a little bit more. Sandra's saying, even on the darkest and longest night, the light remember its way back. That's really nice saying. Winter solstice today, isn't it? It's 21st of December. It means the days start to become lighter again. So Sandra's got a really nice quote. Thanks. I'm going to share that. Thank you. Even on the darkest and longest night, which is today, I think, the light remembers its way back. Winter solstice. Very nice. Sandra's asking Turbo Tony if he can explain that further, what his comment was with regards to his comment. Sandra's then said it's very interesting. Hi, Brad. Hi there, Santa. Yeah, say hello to Santa. He's in the background. Obviously, because it's nearly Christmas, so that's why I put him in the background. Anyway, so we're going to move on to 4D in a moment. So let me just type this in. What is 4D consciousness? Let me just type this in. What the hell is it? I used to think, what the hell's that? That's what I used to think at one point. Let me just write this down and then I'll crack on. We have that. Here we go. So, 4D consciousness. What the hell is that? Some people might be thinking that. Some people might be. If anyone's aware of what 4D consciousness is, please elaborate. Join in if you want to. 4D is the awakening and inner conflicts. It's opening your eyes and thinking, oh shit, I'm seeing all these other perspectives, basically. I'm referring to my notes a little bit, guys. Now, this is where things can get uncomfortable. So 3D is unconscious. You don't know what the fuck's going on. You're blind. You're unconscious. You're knocked out. You're not aware of everything. 4D is when you open your eyes and think, oh shit, I didn't see it like that. I didn't realize this was going on. Wow. It's going to feel uncomfortable at first. If you're becoming aware, self-actualizing, realizing your strengths and your weaknesses, you're looking at the ugly truth of some things, and sometimes it's not going to be pretty. To begin with, that potentially will feel uncomfortable. That's like a new beginning. You've just opened your eyes. You're like, whoa, I can see now. Oh shit, I didn't realize that was like that. This is uncomfortable. This could be in relation to your family dynamics. This could be with looking at yourself, going, "Oh shit, why am I've not been the best person there?" And that's the beginning of accountability, isn't it? It's like, "Oh no, I can't believe I've said that or I've acted in that way. I wasn't the best there. I've hurt other people's feelings. I was out of order there." That's the beginning of accountability. That's the beginning of like a 4D consciousness. I'll just go to the comments a moment. Alpha Zone is saying manifestation. Yes, I do believe that we do manifest energy. Our thoughts and words can create manifestation. Alpha Zone, absolutely, I agree. I'm kind of saying 4D is probably more elevated as a guess. I'm not going to refer to it as elevated. You could see it that way. I understand why you see it that way, Sandra, but I think it's just a different... Yeah, it's a different perspective, isn't it? I'm not saying all 3D, 4D, 5D, whatever. I don't think it's all, they're all bad people. It's just people at different stages in life, maybe. Sander saying about 4D, Brad. Well, I'll go through it, Sander, and then you can tell me where you think you're at. I think I think I'm at 5D a lot of the time, but I go to 4D sometimes and I go to 3D sometimes because I'm human. I'm not perfect. I fuck up sometimes too, if I'm honest. And that's me being honest with myself. Alpha saying, being aware, yes. It's amazing to be aware. It can be painful sometimes and hard. Turbo Tony saying, I know so many 3D people. Turbo Tony, absolutely. I completely understand that. I've had times where I've known so many 3D people. I think I'm aware, right? Turbo Tony, I'll call you Tony, sorry. Tony, I've had a lot of times in my life, I've become aware and I'm thinking, oh my God, I've been overwhelmed. I'm thinking there's so many people at an unconscious level. They don't understand me at all. They're not seeing things the same way that I do. They misunderstand me. They misinterpret me. They underestimate me massively. They're being rude. And I felt like I've been overwhelmed by it because there's so many people that are unconscious. So I can resonate with what you're fucking saying. That's big reason why I'm talking about this today. It can be overwhelming. And it can be like, it's like the gift of awareness, but it's also like feel like a curse sometimes. That will be in relation to 4D as well. A lot of the world, Tony, is like that, in my opinion. Not all, but a fucking lot, Tony, as you know. Alpha Zone is perception is everything. Yeah, it's your perception, your perspective. Absolutely, Alpha Zone. Antonio, my favourite British bald. Oh, thank you, Antonio. I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah. Will an adult 3D ever change, Tony? Good question. My opinion is some will. We've all been in 3D, Tony, and we all might just dip into it every now and again. If we're aware, because we're human and we mess up sometimes. You might your core might break down and you might get really angry, let's say, or whatever, and you become really reactive in that moment, but you'll snap back out of it, Tony, hopefully, if you're aware. We're all human, we all have emotions, we all have good days, bad days, whatever. Most won't, Tony. I don't think we fucking will. If they're truly unconscious, they're never blame for anything. They don't have a self-accountability. They've got the emotional maturity of an 8-year-old. A lot of these people, Tony, will never change. That sounds a bit shit, but that's just the way it is. It's how do you, as a more aware person, navigate this? Alpha's smiling. Sending love back and respect back to it. Thank you for anyone that's liked and subscribed. I really appreciate you all. Just sending that out there. Briggs229 saying crazy talk. Yes, this could sound crazy to some people. I understand that. Briggs, I get it. Some people might think this is crazy. which is absolutely okay. I'm fine with that. In my opinion, it's not crazy at all. At all. However, that's your opinion. That's okay. Why do you think it's crazy talk, Briggs229? What are your thoughts on this? On this, if you have any at all? Antonio said, could I cover your bald head in baby oil and massage it? I suppose that'd feel nice, wouldn't it? I've never experienced that, if I'm honest, Antonio. I'll go with the joke though. So anyway, I'll carry on. 4D is the awakening stage. It's the beginning. What are beginnings? When you first open your eyes and you see things as they are in the world, it can look very ugly. You're aware of the craziness. It can feel uncomfortable. It can feel uncomfortable. And new beginnings are also when you first become aware and awake, let's say, you open your fucking eyes properly, it can feel uncomfortable. As a question for everyone, has anyone ever thought, I'm growing, but why does this feel worse? Has anyone ever felt that? Has anyone ever thought, I'm growing, but why does this feel worse? Because when you first begin to grow in pains, can be fucking painful, therefore suffering. Growth can feel painful. Absolutely. Growth is linked to suffering, in my opinion. Growth is not always easy, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. Alpha saying 3D is chaos, blame, game. Why me? Problems happen. Bang on, Alpha Zone. The 4D is magic in life. The universe works with the 5D. The universe works for us. I like that. Thank you, Alpha Zone. I love that. I'm going to share that too. I'm going to pin that comment. Thank you. So I'm going to read that again. One moment, sorry. Let me go back down. Alpha saying 3DOS is chaos. It's a blame game. Why me? I'm a victim. 3D consciousness. Why me? It's not fair. This is not my. I'm a victim to everything. The world owes me something. Kind of logic. Alpha Zone in relation to the chaos blame game. Everything's everyone else's fault. It's that person over there's fault for making me feel bad. That's what people do because they're not conscious. Absolutely. The 4D is the magic in life. It begins to change, which I'm just talking about now. I'll go into more detail on that in a second. It's the beginning of something, isn't it? It's the beginning of awareness. It's seeing things as they are, seeing the ugly truths of life in the external and also in the internal. I'll go into that more in detail in a moment. And then the 5D is, I think it's being calmer about things. I'll go into that soon. I'll talk more about that in a moment, Alpha Zone. Brad. So anyway, I'll move on. So I'm going to say, Brad, I feel that and often. Yes, absolutely. Hi, Amelia. How are you? Hope you're okay. Good for you to join us again, by the way. I'm talking about 3D consciousness, 4D and 5D consciousness levels, basically. New Earth theory. I'm talking about, in essence. I'm going to refer to you as Tony, if you don't mind. Turbo Tony. Tony is saying, could purposely going into a 3D mindset mean you're just tired of all the shit on Earth? Yeah, sometimes, Tony, I can relate to that. It shows you what sometimes think, I've fucking had enough. This world's crazy. It's too much, Tony. I completely get that. I feel it sometimes. I think sometimes I wish. I can't though. Once you open your eyes, you can't close them again, in my opinion, Tony. Once you become aware, it's hard to close them again. Sometimes though, I think ignorance is bloody bliss. I wish I was just unaware and dumb. So I don't see the ugliness of the world as much or the challenges of the world as much. Sometimes I'm tempted by that. However, I also, on another note, I'm really glad that I'm aware. I really, really am glad that I'm aware. I think we're meant to be aware. We're meant to open our eyes. We're meant to raise our consciousness levels, Tony. It's not easy though. It's not for everybody. It's a hard path at times, let's say that much. But sometimes you're tempted by ignorance is bliss, mate, is what I'm getting from what you're saying. And sometimes it's just nice to just curl up in a little ball and just ignore all the bullshit. Is what I'm gauging from what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Tony. Sanders saying, I feel different towards others, not in an arrogant way, just within myself. I value peace and comfort. That's 5D. Over pettiness. You value that, absolutely. Gossip, competition and chaos. Competing with others, comparing yourself to others, gossiping about others. Fucking low vibrational bullshit, basically. Unconscious bullshit, basically. What that is. Chaos, creative. Some people create chaos because their emotional regulation system, basically, they just have to make them that's their comfortable place, which is crazy. It can be a lonely place though sometimes, Sandy. Yes, I think I've known that for a lot of my life. I wasn't aware of it when I was younger as much, but I felt like that for a lot of my life. Yes, and it can feel lonely. So I get you. Amelia says hi. Hi back, Amelia. I'm going through the comments a moment. Amelia saying, wait, be right back. My phone is about to die. No worries, Amelia. No pressure. It's all good. Thanks for joining us again. Simon saying, Tony, I thought that too. I get so tired of bullshitting often. Yeah, life's too short for bullshit. It really is. But bullshit's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's tough shit. Literally, forgive the pun. Bullshit is tough shit. It's going to happen with some people. That's it. It's part of how the world fucking operates, and it's annoying, and it's frustrating, and it's literally bullshit, man. It says it on the tin, doesn't it? Bullshit's just bullshit. Life's too short for that. It's how do you react to it? You can't stop them doing that. You can't stop someone saying and doing what they do. They're going to do it. And there's a lot of society that's like that. How are you going to navigate that? Is the question to you guys. I'm going to give you that question. It's becoming less reactive, isn't it? Putting boundaries in place without feeling guilty, that kind of thing, helps with this type of behaviours anyway. Big Jim, I'm going to call you Big Jim. Why do you and your people speak with curse words so much? Big Jim, I swear. I say swear words. I don't say them in an aggressive manner. I don't say them towards people, but I do use curse words. If you don't like it, that's fine. I understand that. But that's how I speak genuinely. I say curse words. That's what I do. And I don't say curse words with intent, nasty intent. They are words. They are sounds that I make. That's how I see it. I'm saying words. They're sounds. I can say shit. I can say other swear words. Whatever swear words they are. I don't have it's the tone, in my opinion. I could say something polite to you, really, really rudely like that. Or I could say, oh, what the fuck are you on about? That shit. The tone of those curse words is not nasty. I'm not coming from a nasty place. And this is just how I speak. This is how I speak genuinely. And that's the way it is. That's my choice. I don't mean to offend anyone with it though. I'm not swearing at anybody. I'm just using those words. Sanderson says, Alpha Zone, love your explanation. Absolutely bang on. I agree, Sander. Sander's giving a perspective. Yoga's fine. When I first moved into the UK, I was surprised at that too, amongst other things. I use a lot of swear words. Yeah. Some people assume that you use curse words and it's a lack of vocabulary and a lack of intelligence, but I don't think so. I think swear word, if you're swearing loads and loads and loads, it's different. Maybe, depends on the individual, but I think it conveys genuineness and honesty in explanation of things from my perspective. Not everyone will agree with that, which is fine. The saucy chef is saying, Dr. Evil, what the fuck? Dr. Evil, what is he called? Is it Mike Myers that plays that character? Is it that? I forgot the film that he's in. Anyway. Big Jim saying, here in America, whereabouts in America are you from, Big Jim? Thanks for joining us, by the way. And I don't mean to be horrible with the curse words, mate. Honestly, I don't. Most ignorant people use curse words when speaking. I'm not ignorant at all. I'm not. I get why some people, I understand your perspective though, Big Jim, because some people who use a lot of curse words can be ignorant. I think it depends on the individual and the context. I think there's more to it. It's not like black and white thinking, in my opinion. People who use curse words, they're all ignorant. And the ones that don't use curse words are not ignorant. I don't think it's like that. I think it depends on the individual and the context. And you've got to like maybe listen. And I don't know. I think that's true for some, Big Jim. I agree with what you're saying to an extent. With regards to myself, I don't believe that I'm that way. I'm not an ignorant person. I'm an open-minded person. I try to be the best I can. I'm not perfect though, Big Jim. As you can tell, I'm definitely not perfect, but I'm aware of that. Sandra's saying, hi, the saucy chef. He's Dr. Love and Light, actually. Thanks, Sandra. That's very kind of you to say. SYN Flood is giving a thumbs up. Thumbs up back to you, mate. My name's Brad, by the way. Thank you to anyone that's liked and subscribed. I really appreciate you all, just to send that out there. Sanders then saying, Brad is most definitely not ignorant, yoga's fine. But yeah, there can be a lot of truth in what you said there. Yeah, I'd agree with Sander with regards to that. Oh, it's also good. Everyone's got their own perspectives. It's okay. I think it's a good thing. And it's okay for other people not to agree with everything that you're saying. It's not an attack on my ego, just because you might not agree with everything that I'm saying, which is absolutely normal and fine. I'm open to those things, open to other people's opinions. That's being open-minded. I'm not threatened by, if someone doesn't agree with me, I don't feel threatened by it, because it's just another perspective. And you can learn from other people's perspectives as well. In my opinion, anyway. Sandra saying hi to SYN Flood. Tony is then saying, so in 2005, so sorry, I can't even speak properly. Forgive me. Tony is saying in 2025, would be logging off social media take you to 3D? Would logging off social media take you to 3D, Tony? No. It depends on how you approach that. Logging off from social media could take, sorry, one moment, would be, no, I don't think it would, Tony. It depends on how you approach it. If you were to log off social media, you've completely got rid of it all. You took yourself off Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever it is, whatever format you're on, you took yourself off it. Depends how you approach it as an individual. It could take you away from, it could elevate you if you worked on yourself, or it could drag you down. It depends on the individual, in my opinion, Tony. Mike Piccolo saying, was Jesus born December 25th? According to scripture, yes. I wasn't there to witness that, though, Mike Piccolo, but that's what the scriptures say, isn't it? The Bible says. Alphazon saying 5D is non-judgmental. It's simple. It's not touchable, but more lonely. It can be. It can be. I found doing this to Alpha Zone it's really helped. I found that the people that are interested in my content have been more 4D, 5D thinking anyway, and and it's helped me feel less lonely by doing this. With regards to what you're talking about, this is the good thing about this channel. I'm only in the early stages, of course, but anyway. I'll carry on. I am 4D going to 5D, but I often stay at 4D. That's very aware of you to say that. The bullshit is more or less just that, but 4D can change the grid at 5D. One is sorry, I'm reading that the best I can. So you're more at 4D then, Alpha Zone. I'm going to go through that in a moment. Satan's claws, Mike Piccolo says. Tammuz disciple. Don't know what that means, mate. Sandra said, I'm loving this live so much, Brad. Like and subscribe, everyone. Thanks, Sandra. I'm going to pin that comment. Thank you. So I'm going to crack on with my content. I will go to the comments in a moment, but I need to crack on with this. So this is, right, so 4D. Let's go into more detail on that. This is where you start questioning your thoughts. You're noticing your triggers. What does that mean? You're noticing your triggers. You're noticing what upsets you. You're noticing your emotional reactions to things. You're aware of what you're doing. Ooh, sometimes that can feel ugly. Sometimes that can feel painful, but that's where the growth is. That's when you're opening up Pandora's box. What's Pandora's box? It's where all your insecurities and trauma is. You might have developed that from childhood. You're starting to look into that Pandora's box. what your fucking triggers are. That's going to be uncomfortable to begin with. Absolutely. But that's where the magic is. That's where the gold is. The hard road will take you home. I'll say it again. The hard road will take you home. Old wounds resurface. They're coming out into the open. The inner critic gets louder before it softens, though, because the inner critic wants to keep you in 3D. The inner critic is just your unconscious thoughts, isn't it? Trying to protect you in a way, but it's gonna magnify it. I'll go into that in a moment. 4D can feel like I'm waking up, but I'm not at peace. I'm waking up, but I'm not at peace. This is therefore uncomfortable. So a lot of people don't do this. They think, fucking hell, this is uncomfortable. I'm looking at my own insecurities here. I'm going to go back to 3D. This is nice and easy. I'll go back to the easy road, unconscious road. I'll go back to sleep. I'm going to go back to sleep. That kind of thinking. I'll go back to 3D. I don't want to stay in 4D. 4D is fucking hard. It's painful. Don't want to do that. I'll go to 3D. I get why. It's tempting. I get it. One moment, sorry, I'm just going to have a sip of coffee. One moment, sorry, guys. Just drinking this. Vineski, I hope I said your name right. Vineski saying, what is Christ consciousness and why is it different? It is to just it being God the Father's consciousness in the human form limited. Consciousness in the human form is limited for some people. Not for everyone, though. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? I think we're here to raise our consciousness levels to become more higher vibrational, to come away from that heavy 3D unconscious level, to grow through the suffering, the school of fucking life. Vineski, in my opinion, it's not easy. Not everyone chooses it. Not everyone goes down this. The hard road will take you home, like Sanders has said. Loves that saying. The hard road will take you home, mate. It'll get you up there. Is it going to be easy? No. Is everyone going to do it? No, they're not. We really need Mr. 5D Gold here. I've not seen Mr. Gold for a while, Sander. Bald, so shiny, bro. Yes, it's bald and it's shiny. Thank you, Theon. Good morning to Dawn. Hi, how are you? I'll keep going the best I can. So I'm going to talk about my content the best I can, guys. Referring to my notes a moment. So people often think something is wrong with them here, but in reality, something is being revealed. Once you begin to 4D, you're just opening up your eyes. You're thinking, oh shit, there's something wrong with me here. This is uncomfortable, like I've said. 4D is the shadow work. It's like saying, why am I reacting to these people? Why am I reacting to this? Why am I reacting to that? It's asking why. Why am I doing this? Why do I behave that way? It's looking within. It's the beginning of looking within. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's the beginning of awareness, 4D. It's a transitional phase. I believe that we're going to 3D, 4D, 5D, let's say. I think we can flip between the few of them, but there'll be somewhere where you're more constant. It's noticing how much of your life has been run by fear. And that, yeah, why am I people pleasing so much? Why am I doing things that other people want me to do? Why is my life being hijacked? So imagine you've got a day off, you've worked all week, you're busy as fuck, and then a family or a friend member goes, oh, are you off on Thursday? You go, yeah, I'm off on Thursday. And they go, right, I'm going to the shopping centre. You can drive me, can't you? And you go, oh, people please ring you. Goes, yeah, okay, I'll go. I'll take you. It's like shit. And then you get off the phone and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm so tired. I don't want to go to the shopping centre. I just want to have a day to myself. Your day's been hijacked. Your day's been hijacked because the people pleaser within you has said yes instead of saying no to yourself. Is a great example of that. But then it's becoming aware of that, going, why do I allow this person to hijack my days off? It's because I want to be a people pleaser and I don't want, I feel guilty when I say no. Would be a great example of that. And then 4D is like thinking, I'm aware of it. I'm aware of my patterns here. This is not for my best self. This is not for the greater good of myself. And then it's noticing those little things. The beauty of awareness, by the way. Sorry, I've got crack on the bed. So it's emotional intensity. It's noticing how much of your life has been run by fear, conditioning and unmet needs. You're just conditioned to behave in a certain way. This is why many people feel anxious, detached, or disillusioned. Right now, they're not broken. They're between identities. So there's a transitional phase, isn't it? I'll carry on talking the best I can. 4D. So 4D is awareness without maturity. In 4D, you see the pattern, you see what's going on, you see the characters in play, but haven't yet stabilized your response. Not quite there yet. You're noticing your triggers, you're noticing your insecurities, you're noticing some of the behaviors that might not be the best in you. We all have them. We all fucking do. Let's be honest. You still get pulled into them. You're still getting pulled into the bullshit sometimes in 4D. You're still getting pulled in. But you're more aware of it. Doesn't mean you're happy with it, but you're still getting pulled in every now and again. We all do that to an extent. You judge yourself for reacting. So imagine a situation, someone said maybe something a little bit rude and you've overreacted, you've bit their head off. And then afterwards you're going, oh shit, I feel really bad about that reaction I did. I shouldn't have done that. My ego was hurt there. That would be an example of that. Instead of your 3D consciousness level, unconscious, you bite somebody's head off, you'd shout at them, but you wouldn't think anything else of it. You just think, I got them told. Your ego kicks in, and you'd walk on. You wouldn't care about another person's feelings, for example. Let me go to the comments a moment. Let me keep going, actually, a little while longer, then I'll go to the comments. 4D is knowing better. You know better, but not always getting better, not always doing better yet. So you know better, but you're not always doing it better yet. You're in transition in 4D. It's the beginning, though. It's good. It's the beginning. I'll move on. The inner critic gets louder before it softens. So the inner critic's fighting. It's fighting. It wants you back to your old conditioning ways. Many people think that they are regressing because the inner voice becomes harsher. Starts telling you off, starts putting you down, potentially, that internal inner critic. Old shame resurfaces. Old shame can resurface. You can look back at past experiences and feel, oh, makes you cringe, for example. Self-doubt can intensify. Procrastination can kick in, basically, potentially. This happens because unconscious material is surfacing. So it's bringing, what's this 4D doing? Think about it. It's bringing out all the ugliness it's pouring out of Pandora's box. Those internal fears are being squeezed out and they're coming out and you're seeing them for what they are. And if you don't do this, you're never going to grow because you've got to, the ugliness, the trauma has to be squeezed out of you to an extent, has to become apparent for you to see it. And if you can see it, then you can solve it potentially. You need to see what the problem is before you can solve it, basically. That's how it is. Is this easy? No. Does it take time? Yes. Are you going to be perfect with it? No, you're not. Is it a lifelong kind of work that you need to do on it? Potentially, yeah. And that's okay. Everyone grows at their own pace. Everyone's got their own journey. One's not better than the other. The inner critic, though, is going to get louder because it's losing control. It's thinking, oh, shit, I want to drag you back to 3D. Inner critic's thinking, don't like this. This is uncomfortable. This is unsafe. This person's bringing out all Pandora's box has been opened. Oh, shit, the inner critic's thinking, potentially. I'm trying to explain it the best I can. Let's go back to 3D. Let's go back to school. Let's go back to sleep. Do you want to go back to sleep? 3D. Come back to 3D. Go back to sleep. Be unconscious. It's tempting, isn't it, as well? I get why it's tempting. I'll read the comments a moment. Alpha Zone is saying that the Christ consciousness is clarity. Sander then says hi to Dawn. Videski saying, sure, thank you. But how would you define the consciousness of him versus us, or the higher, or the normal higher consciousness awareness? Thanks. I'll do my best to answer that. How would you define the consciousness of him versus us? What do you mean him versus us? God versus us. My opinion, Videshki, is God is energy, and energy is in all of us, so the God is within. That's my opinion. Maybe not everyone agrees with that. God is energy. God is within. Energy is within everything, and energy is within us. Therefore, we are God. And when we pray to our higher selves. That's my thoughts. You don't have to agree with that. It's not V versus anything. I'm not versus God. Therefore, I'd be versus me. That's the ego, in my opinion. I'm versus I'm. But it's not a battle of who's the best here, who's the most powerful, who's the most conscious, who's got the highest vibration. That's ego kicking in. It's like a competition. Then that's comparison, isn't it? That would be 3D, in my opinion. That's my best answer for that right now. I believe that we pray to ourselves. I think that God is energy. God, I think there's another side to things, another world that I don't understand. I think all religions point to the same fucking thing, to source. We are part of source. We are part of energy. Therefore, we are all God in our own way, if you know what I mean. And we're all here to grow and for our consciousness levels to vibrate at a high frequency. That's what life's all about. That's what my channel's all about. That's why I talk about what things I talk about. They're all the things I talk about narcissism, I talk about other things, etc., self-development, self-awareness, blah, blah, blah. They all point towards 5D, basically. That's what it's all works towards that. Santa says she's baking cookies on another note. Good. Great. Therapeutic. Do things that you love doing. Keep things simple. Things don't have to be serious all the time. That's positive. Dawn saying hello to Sander. Christmas cookies. I'm gonna have to have one. I'm gonna have a cheat day on Boxing Day or Christmas Day or whatever. Sander's asking how Dawn is. Dawn saying, "Oh, I'll send you my address." Sander said, "I'd love to share them. They're delicious. They look really good." Dawn saying, "I'm good, thanks. I'm heading out in a minute to go to the horses. How are you?" I'm good, thanks. So everyone else is good. What kind did you make? Oh, you're asking Sander that, I'm assuming. I believe, Dawn, you function on 5D a lot of the time, in my opinion. As I believe myself too as well. However, I do go to 4D. I'm in 4D sometimes as well. I flip between the two. And sometimes I go to 3D every now and again, but less so than I used to, a lot less so than I used to. Alpha Zone, you're definitely on your way to 5D, Dawn. I think you're frequent. Yeah, I think you are a lot of the time. That's my opinion anyway. Alpha saying 4D is letting go of the old in many ways. It's realization. Absolutely, Alpha Zone. It really is realization. Realizing. The beauty of realizing. And agree with the resonance. Yes. And my experience, 4D is fuck the world, letting go of the old, and they use it if they will, the realization. You're very wise, by the way, Alpha. Thank you for sharing. Dawn saying this is making so much sense. I remember wondering how the hell I was going to stop reacting in the ways I didn't want to. Yeah, it's hard. When you when you're used to reacting in a certain way, it's like autopilot as well. And it works for you in a way, even if it's not the best reaction, you're just doing it. We all have knee-jerk reactions. And it's thinking, how the hell do I do this differently? And if you start to do something differently at the beginning, it's more challenging because it's alien to you, it's new to you, type of thinking. Alpha Zone says, God, mind, or consciousness, I am you and you are me. Yes. And it all is expression of the all. However, the realization is trippy, but only understood when one realized. Amazing. Thank you, Alpha. Well said. Brilliantly said. Thank you. Violet. I'll call you Violet, sorry. I hope that I've got the right name. My friend Jenna is a big fan of yours, but she is in an argument with her boyfriend. So you could say I support genocide to show her. What do you mean by that, Violet? If I hope I said your name right. I'm really glad to hear that Jenna's a fan of mine. I really appreciate that. Thank you. It's nice to hear. She's in an argument with her boyfriend. But you're saying you support genocide to support her. Can you elaborate a little bit more, please, if you don't mind? And I'll try and respond the best I can. Dawn saying, I was on my way to the office at work to hand in my paperwork on Friday and saw the Nork heading to the office, and my legs took me right back to the truck when someone walked past and I jumped. So he was a bit fearful by the sounds of it with that interaction. Like I jumped, my whole body jumped. It's like, shit, the danger there. It's your emotional guidance system in a way, Dawn, going, that person's a narcissist. That person's a danger. And kind of, that's what I'm interpreting from what you're saying. And like, yeah, like your emotional guidance system trying to protect you in a way. I've heard similar from Alan Watts, Alpha. Alan Watts was amazing, wasn't he? Very wise man. Lots of good things from Alan Watts. Way ahead of his time as well, because he was years ago when he created his content, when he was alive, let's say, Alan Watts. Very wise man. Unbelievably wise man. Anyway, an asset to humanity, I would say Alan Watts is. Was, should I say, or still is. He's still an asset to humanity. Alpha saying, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks, Alpha. I appreciate you. Down the line, did you go dogging last... We've got a troll. Did you go dogging last night, mate? No, I'm not into dogging, mate. I'm not into that. Are you into that? Simon says, saying, Dawn, chop, chip, and crinkles. Yes. Simon says, saying, oh my God, I love Alan Watts. Agreed. What a guy. Yeah, he was. Amazing person. Sanders agreeing with me. You're most definitely 5D. I would say so, yeah, on the whole. You will, as a human, as a person, no one's perfect. You will flip between the others, in my opinion, too, but your baseline probably is more at 5D. I'm going to carry on talking anyway. So, let's carry on. So, more about this 4D, the best I can. Emotional mood swings are common in 4D. Ups and the fucking downs. So, what's 4D going to feel like? One day you're grounded. You're good. You're calm. The next day you're overwhelmed. One day you're grounded. The next day you're overwhelmed. You're like, well, this is too much. Other days you're fucking winning, up and down. So you're having like a calm followed by frustration. Calm followed by frustration. It's that transitional fact. When you're transitioning into something else, when you're growing, there's going to be ups and downs. It's a bit rocky. You're not quite there yet. You're learning emotional. You're learning emotional safety, not emotional suppression. Kind of thinking. Mood swings in 4D aren't instability. They're integration in progress. Yes, they are. You're integrating. One moment, let me have a sip of tea. It can feel messy. Mood swings up and down. 4D, I'll carry on the rest I can. I'll go to the comments in a moment, guys. I've flipped between the two towards reading your comments and then going through this. 4D creates identity confusion. 4D can create identity confusion. Absolutely. This is a big one. This is a big one in my opinion. Let me think. I'm referring to my notes a little bit here as well. Old identity no longer fits, man. That old way of being doesn't fit going forwards. Doesn't fit your personality anymore. That old way of being where you're reactive and you're not at your best, it doesn't fit your life going forwards. And this is a big one as well, when you change your vibrations, when your mentality changes, you're elevating at a different level potentially. You're more conscious of what you're doing. You might lose some people along the way. Because they're stuck in. Imagine there's some nice people in 3D, in 3D, like some people that are unconscious. Doesn't mean they're bad people. Some really nice people, in my opinion, really nice people, but they're not conscious. They can't have deeper conversations. They're not able to, They're not conscious enough to be able to elaborate, to be at the same consciousness level as you. And you might have to leave some people behind. You might have to love them from afar, which can be tricky. It can feel uncomfortable and it can feel lonely. Absolutely. And also, the 4D is going to be confusing to begin with because you're creating a new identity. You're growing and you're not quite there yet. You're not quite used to it yet. And you can feel in between. You can feel torn. And that's especially when you've got, let's say, family that aren't at the same consciousness level as you. They don't really truly know you, I suppose, in that way. They know you from their perspective. And a lot of the time, they know you from a past self. And that's how they know you. And they put you in a box sometimes, think, you're that you. You're in that box. You're that person. We know you. In fact, you know me when I was maybe 16, 17 or 25 years old when I was unconscious, but now I'm a different person now. I'm the same person in essence, but I've grown. But you don't see that. They can't see that. Their perception is narrowed. They don't see the whole you. And that's okay. It doesn't mean they're bad people. Doesn't mean you're better than them either. Please never think that. Never fucking think that, actually. Don't think you're better than anyone just because they're 3D, you're 5D. That's your ego kicking in. So it's good to keep that in check, in my opinion anyway. This can also show up as this identity confusion with 4D. You're going to withdrawing from society. You need more alone time sometimes. You just want to get away from everything, which is okay. I get it. Especially when people could be egotistical and toxic. You want to withdraw from that. Like, I don't want to be part of this. This is too much, which is okay. Overthinking is a big one. Overthinking your decisions. Overthinking, analysis can cause paralysis sometimes, can't it? Overanalyzing things can cause paralysis in yourself. Overthinking things, thinking things too much. Overthinking can be very draining as well, I suppose. And then there's that. I can't say this word. Extension. Sorry, I'm trying to. I can't say some words. I'm really sorry, guys. Can't say it. Shit. Existential questioning. I'm saying it wrong. Questioning your existence, basically. What the fuck? Basically, when you become aware, you're like, wow. It's existential, I said it wrong, dread in a way can kick in. You're questioning your life, you're questioning the world in a way. It's all new to you, it's all open to you. This is what the awareness, you start to see everything around you, and it can be confusing to begin with. Abso-fucking-lutely. Have I been there? Yes. Though I still get that. I come to this sometimes as well. 4D can feel uncomfortable, like I've said, because the old self is dissolving. The old self, you need to grow. It's like a snake shedding its skin. The old self needs to go. It needs to go. It's old. It's not going forwards. It's heavy. It's weighing you down. You need to dissolve that. But the new one isn't fully embodied yet. Therefore, hence the confusion. I'll go to the comments again. Sandra's talking about changing topic a little bit, so good. Google them, Dawn. They're chocolatey and crack while baking. Delicious and beautiful looking. Easy to make. Just a bit of a sticky mess. You're talking about the cookies. Sometimes it's good to just switch off. Not everything should be serious all the time. Absolutely. Dawn saying that sounds awesome. Dawn saying, oh my God, Brad, that's me. One day I'm invisible. Then I think I can't handle this. Yeah, it's too much sometimes. Especially if you get tired, if you get a bit ill. That self-doubt and inner critic can really kick in then, because your energy's not able to handle it as well sometimes on some days. Don't say, I was heading back to the office going, fuck it, I'll be fine. Then my body took over and I had no control. That's your nervous system kicking in. That's your nervous system being threatened. But you're aware of it, which is amazing, by the way, Dawn. 5D as well. If you're in 5-dimensional, right, consciousness level, which is, let's say, more elevated in a way, doesn't mean that you're going to struggle. It doesn't mean there's still challenges in life. It's not like, oh, this is a magical place to be and everything's fine. No. It's not that. It's not the reality of it. There's still struggles, there's still challenges. It's just you're dealing with it in a lot healthier, more mindful way. to say it bluntly. Dawn's saying, I struggle to talk to unconscious people. Fucking snap. It's hard. It's limited. It's small talk. Small talk's got its place in the world. It helps people in social interactions, and societies helped by small talk. A little bit of it is okay, but too much small talk, lack of depth. And it's like, God, you don't even see me, Dawn. Like, you don't even see me for who I am. You don't fucking see me, the real me. You don't know me. You're not even trying to get to know me. That is what the conversation you can have with an unconscious person. They're not aware, and it's a struggle. It's draining. It doesn't align, does it? Invincible, not invisible. Okay. Don't say 1111. Love it. Angel number. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you to anyone that's liked and subscribed, by the way. Amelia says she's back and says hi to Dawn. Hi, Amelia. Good to have you with us again. Did you draw yesterday? Good question. Alpha, thanks. I'm really sorry. Sometimes, Alpha, I struggle. You're saying Eggsy. Oh, I can't say some words, dude. Existential. I need to improve this. Existential crisis. Yes. Dawn's then asking, what did Amelia draw the other day? Okay. Let me just have a moment. Let me just have a sip of tea. 1 sec, guys. Sorry. I'm speaking the best I can. So, sensitivity increases in 5D. Sensitivity increases. Emotional intelligence is a sign of sensitivity. Emotional intelligence. People often report feeling drained around certain people, like what Dawn's just said. Talking to a three-dimensional, an unconscious person, speaking to them, you're going to feel drained. It's draining your energy. It doesn't align with where you're at. Your frequencies aren't matching. You're not in alignment. If you're a higher consciousness level, you're not going to align with that type of person. They're going to feel drained about certain people. And it's going to be maybe exacerbated. It's going to be like more intense, more noticeable to you. You've got less tolerance for bullshit. Less tolerance for it. You're like, I don't want this anymore. This is not part of what I align with. I do not align with this bullshit. You've got less tolerance for noise, for unnecessary noise. It annoys you. I go to a supermarket and there's loud people shouting, talking. It really, I'm very sensitive to it. Absolutely. You've got less fucking tolerance for drama. Basically, what's drama a lot of the time is fucking bullshit. You've got less tolerance for it. I have no time for it. It doesn't align with who I am. It's no good. I have no tolerance for it. I'm trying to just protect you, trying to protect your own energy in a way. And dishonesty as well. I have no time for that. I have no time for people that don't. I have less time for people that don't own their own shit. What does that mean, not owning your own shit? Basically, people that are never accountable. They're never their fault. I've no time for it. They're dishonest. They're not real. They're not genuine. Well, what do they lack? Fucking integrity. I've less time for that. I've less time. I've not got much time for that, really, if I'm honest. I don't hate those people, but I don't want to be around it for too long. I want to protect myself. And maybe you can understand where I'm coming from with that. Needing more alone time. I love my alone time. This isn't weakness, though. People might think this is weakness. It's awareness without boundaries kind of thing. 4D sensitivity is awareness without protection. So you're not quite protecting yourself here at 4D, but you've got the awareness, is what he's trying to say. 4D is where people get stuck. Some people get stuck here. Why? Why do they get stuck? They overanalyze, like I've said before, overthink everything. They don't fully integrate into their best selves. They get stuck here in this fearful overthinking stage. Some people could end up there potentially. They avoid responsibility by blaming the energy. So they avoid the responsibility of your reactions are your choice. How you react to things it's your responsibility for that. And how your internal, everything internal is your responsibility, really. And it's not easy said than done sometimes. And I don't always get this perfect. I don't have all the answers either. I really fucking don't, to be open and honest. But you can't blame other people. It's blaming energy, blaming everyone else. Therefore, you can get stuck in 4D if you're a victim to things. If you think that if you act like a victim towards everything, that can keep you stuck where you are. You don't get out of 4D by thinking more. You get out of 4D by living differently. Common 4D traps. Let's go with that. Victim. Thinking that you're the victim of circumstances, a victim of the outside world can keep you trapped. Over-identifying with your trauma. And I get some people, when you realize what your trauma is, you might have some childhood trauma, let's go with that, and it doesn't feel good, and it was wrong, what happened to you, whatever that is. But if you overanalyze your trauma and it becomes your identity, if your trauma becomes your identity and you're going on about it all the time, and that's you, and you just tie your ego to that too much, you're overanalyzing it, it's going to keep you stuck there. It's good to be aware of your trauma, acknowledge it, and accept it. Accept that it's not fair. Life's not fair. It really isn't. I wish it was, but it's not. And I suppose it's acknowledging your trauma, acknowledging it and going from it. But if you're overanalyzing it, you think about it, and you're also like, some people just think they become, that's their persona, is linked to their trauma, and that's what they champion that all the time, and they live in that state all the time. Therefore, you end up stuck. It's what I gauge from that. I'll go to the comments in a moment, guys. I'm speaking the best I can. The avoid right. I've said that already. Sorry. Waiting to heal before living. Waiting to heal before living. So it's being stuck, isn't it? Escaping reality instead of engaging with it. Escaping reality. It's okay to escape reality sometimes. You might watch a series. It's okay sometimes. But you can't escape reality all the time. You've got to live within it in the best way you can. Let me go to the comments. I'm speaking the best I can here, guys. Sorry. Don't say I subscribe to you, Amelia, so I'll see your drawings if you post them. Or have you got your own channel, Amelia? Have you got your own channel is a question. Do you create content? Dawn saying, yeah, I used to get sucked into other people's drama, but I can't tolerate it now. I have no time for it anymore. Sometimes a little bit of drama, there's some crazy things that happen sometimes. And I go, oh, that's weird. That's, therefore, curiosity killed the cat. And a little part of me, let's be honest, goes, oh, that's weird. Let me hear about what that person's done or said. But then I think to myself, I want to get away from this now. So I get sucked into drama sometimes. I'm intrigued by it sometimes to a certain degree, but I really don't. It's hard to tolerate. I agree. A little dark part of me enjoys a little bit of bullshit sometimes, if I'm honest. However, I don't get too emotionally attached to it. I can hear a tiny bit of it and I think I've had enough. I don't want to know. Kind of thinking. Dawn says, I sometimes feel like I lack integrity. Okay, because I'm easily distracted and struggling to see things through sometimes. However, Dawn, just by you saying that paragraph, you said sometimes I feel like I lack integrity because I'm easily distracted. You're saying I'm easily distracted. You're being honest. I'm easily distracted. That shows integrity. That saying, and you struggle to. I think that shows integrity because you're aware of what you're doing and you're open and you're accountable. Is there more to why you feel like you lack integrity? But I think you show a lot of integrity because you're open and honest. You're not hiding anything. You're laying it on the table. You're aware of what you're doing. I think that shows integrity, in my opinion. Alpha Sensei, 3D is more like a billion questions. Okay. 4D is like, oh yeah, sure. Has some answers, yes, I agree. 5D is more like, let's do that quantum work. Let's do the work rather than pointless 3D banter now. Some 3D, okay. You've got, sounds like you've got a lot of experience with this, Alpha, by the way. Thanks for sharing. You sound like you've done some serious work, Alpha, Dawn saying, in relation to what I've just said. Yep. You have, by the sounds of it, absolutely. And if you hadn't done, you probably wouldn't be watching this, would you? For one. And you wouldn't be able to talk about it if you weren't aware of all these things. A lot of people won't be attracted to what I'm talking about, which is absolutely fine. But it's good to have these conversations. It's really, I enjoy these conversations with other people and other people's perspectives. Helps me feel less lonely in a way, and to understand things better as well. It's not just my thoughts and interpretations, it's you guys as well that add to this collective consciousness, which is a positive thing. Pulling in the same kind of, you help each other kind of thinking. Anyway, Alpha saying the 4D, the universe worked with us, and the 5D, 4D, the universe works with us, the 5D, the universe works for us, linking that to law of attraction type of thing, Alpha. Don't say, I know someone who wears a trauma like a badge. Some people do. Their ego gets tied to it. It's a whole personality. Yeah, that's what I was on about. She's always just been the victim, a forever victim, champion victim. But she's defensive and bullies people. That's not even 4D, is it? That's three-dimensional as hell. She's very lonely and a cut ties too. Well, yeah, that's the price you're going to be paying. Victims are, some people who play victim all the time, actually most who play victim all the time, in my opinion, they're very, very, very manipulative. They're not good to be around. Alpha Zone saying, Dawn, yes. Dawn saying, thanks, Brad, I do try. Hi to Sam. You say, hi, why are you bald? Basically, it's because I receded when I was younger. My hair receded when I was younger. It just happens to some men. Happens to some women sometimes, but mostly men, isn't it, Sam? So I just went bald, mate. So what did I do? I did the best I could with my hair when I was younger. I was insecure about it when I was younger in my 20s because I used to have I used to have mousy brown hair, let's say, when I was in my 20s. Started to go bald. I was very insecure about it. I kept the hair as long as I could, but it started to look shit, let's say that. Going bald doesn't look good. And if you're trying to hold on, it doesn't look good. So luckily, I've got a good shaped head for being bald. I'm very lucky in that regard. So do you know what I did? Less is more, and I shaved it all off. And less is more. It looks better I look better without the hair, if you know what I mean. That's my opinion anyway, and I'm okay with it now. It's like I don't have that problem of hair. My hair problems are gone because I've no hair. It's like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. That's why I am bald. And I love my bald head. It is what it is. That's the way I look. Some people have hair transplants and whatever else, and that's okay. Each their own. Some people wear fucking wigs, which look ridiculous in my opinion. Some people just cling on and they just have like a monk kind of haircut. They look like hair at the sides, bald in the middle. I don't think that looks good. So less is more, and I'm okay with that. That's the way it is, Sam. That's just the way it is. That's why I'm bald. That's my explanation to your answer. Anyway, Alpha Sensei, some people are in a lonely, some is lonely, some is boredom, some is resonance, some is connection, is why I chimed in. So some is lonely, some is boredom, some is resonance, some is connection, is why I chimed in. Thank you, Alpha. You're sharing some really good perspectives. Thank you. Dawn saying that's amazing, Alpha. I always love speaking to people who are ahead of where I am. Yeah, I do too sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. People used to look crazy when then I get to that level and go, oh my God, they're crazy. They were advanced. They weren't crazy, they were advanced. Yeah, some people think I will be crazy if I talked about these things. I don't speak about these things to a lot of people in my real life. In my real life, let's say. In my life, let's say. I don't. I can't. They're at 3D. They're unconscious. I can't have these conversations. I can't fucking do it, mate. I'm sure you guys can definitely resonate with that one. I can't. I don't do it. It's not, the conversation cannot be had. If you're around unconscious people in 3D, a 3D consciousness level, you cannot speak like what I'm speaking about. They will think you're fucking crazy, mate. And that's the way it is. Don't. Anyway, Alpha saying don't. Yes, it's like gnosis, actually. Sorry, Alpha, can you educate? Therefore, I don't know everything. What's gnosis? I don't know. I've never seen that word in my life. Please educate me, Alpha. What's gnosis? I'd love to know what that means. Sander saying, I love your bald head too. Thanks, Sander. Dawn saying, I'll Google that word along with the crinkles in relation to the cookies that I've been talking about in the past that Sander's making. It's Christmas time, it's all good. Dawn saying, yeah, you can pull it off. Not everyone gets away with being completely skinhead. Not everyone does. I've been blessed with the right shaped head for being bald. Good for me, whatever. Making the best of it. Dawn saying, just like I wouldn't look like Sinead O'Connor. God, Sinead O'Connor, yeah, wow. She did look good. She looked good with a shaved head, didn't she? She was super famous at one point. Ah, gnosis is beginning. I didn't know that, Alpha. Thank you. I've learned something new. Thanks. Thank you, Alpha. That's great. Anyway, so you don't get out of 4D by thinking more. You get out by living differently. Common 4D traps. Waiting to heal before living. I've already spoke about that. I'll move on the best I can. 4D is about unlearning the old ways, not becoming. People think that growth means adding more. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it's unlearning your old habits, isn't it? You're unlearning coping mechanisms. Your coping mechanisms might have been, imagine you growing up in a household that's fucking crazy. Your mum and dad, or let's say they have narcissistic traits. You're a kid. You don't know fuck all. You're surviving. You're in survival mode. You're in 3D mode when you're a kid. Come on, you are. And you're surviving this craziness, and that's all you know. You have coping mechanisms to deal with that. You feel like you're walking on eggshells that have already broken. You're a child. You're 8 years old. Your mum and dad rule the roost. You're under their roof. You're dependent upon them. But they may be, let's say they're toxic, for example, and you're just trying to survive, and you're going to develop coping mechanisms to make the best of the situation. You're just going to do that unconsciously. That's going to get you through it the best way you can, as unhealthy as that's going to be, and as shit as that could be as well. However, you're going to still have those coping mechanisms when you get older and become more of an adult. And those coping mechanisms aren't going to align with you going forward. So you have to get rid of those old coping mechanisms. You need to say goodbye to them. And you need to develop, you have to basically reparent yourself in a way to grow away from that trauma. It's what I gauge from that. Dropping false beliefs. You could have developed false beliefs from childhood. Just for example, not everyone's the same. False beliefs of like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I can't go to university. False beliefs. All men should behave this way, all women should behave that way. You could have a false belief of thinking relationships are meant to be toxic. Relationships, people never stay together could be a false belief. There's so many false beliefs. People can, all men are bad, all women are bad. It's not true. It's not true, of course. But some people have those beliefs and also if you see your parents growing up, you see their relationship growing up, you think that's the way relationships are. That's one relationship, but it's not how all relationships form. And you can have false beliefs with how family dynamics work. There's so many false beliefs. I suppose you've got to shed those, shed the fucking skin. These are old false beliefs. They're not aligning with what you're becoming, but you need to drop them. Letting go of performance, letting go of persona, really. That old persona, that old mask that you've been using to link to your coping mechanisms, aren't they, really? Take that mask away. Start again sometimes. It's gonna, there's comfort in the old though, isn't there? It's like coping mechanisms. They're comfortable. They're not perfect. And they're not the best, but they're just what you know. So they can be hard to let go of. Some people never let go of them. But you need to outgrow them. Easy said than done. 4D is about becoming more. 4D is about becoming more. It's about becoming honest. Sorry, I'm getting the words out. It's becoming honest with yourself. Honest. Anyway, I'll move on. I think I've said this before, but relationships are going to change in 4D. They're fucking going to change. If you're growing and you're leaving those other people behind, because that's what's going to happen, old dynamics are going to stop working. You're just taking a step out of it, going, I don't like how this is playing out. They're behaving in a certain way towards me. It's unconscious what they're doing. It's toxic what they're doing. This old family dynamic that I had years ago, I'm sick of this now. This needs to go. This is old. I don't want this anymore. And people are going to start reacting to your boundaries. You're going to put boundaries in place. Like, I'm not accepting this anymore. I'm not having this bullshit. You're not putting me down anymore. I'm had enough. I'm going to put boundaries in place. People are going to react to it. And they're not going to be happy. They're going to react to it. If they're an unconscious person, they're going to react to it maybe very aggressively. They're going to be upset at you. That could make you feel bad, of course, especially if it's someone that you love. And some connections, like I've said, are going to fade. They're going to change. And some people will catch up to you sometimes. Sometimes you've got to, wow, you know what? Some people will catch up to you. They'll go, wow, that's a different version of Brad, me, or you, or whoever. And some people will catch up to you with these connections, but it takes some time. But sometimes they're not going to do. So you have to love them from afar. It can be quite difficult, that, especially if it's family. Or it could be a friend. Like, I used to have loads of friends in my 20s. I used to take drugs. I used to go out. I used to be a dick. I used to be a proper dick. Trust me. I was an idiot. I was unconscious. I was taking drugs. I was going out at weekends. I was having a good time in a way, but it wasn't healthy. And I was around a lot of like chavvy, toxic people. And I was one of them. Trust me, I was one of them. And then I started to work on myself. I started to read, etc., etc. And then all these old friends didn't like the new me. They didn't like it. And those connections faded. I don't see those people anymore because I've grown, I've developed. I wasn't aligned with them anymore. A lot of doors were shut on me as well, literally. People didn't want me around them. And people used to say to me, Brad, you've changed. You've changed. They wanted the old me. They wanted the old me that they could manipulate. They wanted the old me that was taking drugs. They wanted the old me that was insecure. They liked that me because they could control me then. But when I worked on myself, they didn't like it. People used to say to me, you've changed, Brad, you've changed. And that is one of the biggest fucking compliments you can ever hear. Even though it doesn't feel it, you've changed, you. It's like, yeah, I've fucking changed. Yeah, I've changed. That's a big compliment. It doesn't always feel like one, though, when you hear it. Anyway, it's not because you're better, though. I don't want to think like that. Not because you're better. It's just because you're different. You've changed. You're different, not better. Because that could then go down like an arrogant kind of way, couldn't it? Kind of thinking, more of an egotistical thinking. And that could be tempting. Oh, I'm 5D, you're 3D, I'm better than you. It's different. It's a different frequency. I think it's trying to be humble about it to an extent. Growth doesn't end relationships. Misalignment does. The misalignment of energies, isn't it? Misalignment of values. Anyway, I'll go back to comments a moment. I'm doing the best I can. Dawn saying thank you to Alpha. Alpha says welcome. Dawn says she was amazing, but I watched the videos near the end and oh my God, poor girl. Or Sinead O'Connor, I remember, obviously she used to be, let's say 1991, I forgot the name of the song, forgive me. But she was a worldwide superstar. Worldwide. World fucking wide. Massive, basically. And then I remember like maybe 2010, years after that, she wasn't so famous anymore. She was playing in Rottenstall, whereas Rottenstall is a small town in Lancashire. She was playing at an event there. It's mad how she's not with us anymore, is she, Sinead O'Connor? I think she had a lot of issues, let's say that. But she was top of the world and then she was completely not, let's say that. She went through a lot of things, yeah, probably a lot of suffering. Alpha Zone said, saying, I feel how I get out of 4D and move to 5D. It's like doing the work. It's mindset at 5D. Everything seems redundant at times. I'm going to go into 5D very soon, by the way. Dawn saying, I disassociate when I get too stressed. I suppose it's a way of protecting yourself, Dawn. Don't say how's that going, by the way, therapy, by the way. If you don't have to explain that because it's very personal, actually, Dawn. Only if you want to. I've recently started therapy and watched a lot of videos on how to grow, etc. You're smashing it, Dawn. You really are. You're smashing it. You're all over it. By the way, with regards to growth, you really are hitting home runs all the time. It might not feel like that all the time, but you are. And you're putting things into practice. Well, yeah, you are. Amazing. Alpha Sensei, like in some ways, 3D to 4D people, is the difference between electric outlets or electric. That's a good way of interpreting that, explaining that. Thank you, Alpha, again. So Dawn saying, sorry, I can't work out what you're saying. Getting rid of toxic people feels amazing, but it can get lonely. Oh, definitely. I remember having loads of acquaintances, loads of, let's say, friends, acquaintances. I was very popular in my 20s. I was in the scene, the rave scene, the drug scene, let's say. I was well known. I was popular. I knew a lot of people. And then when I worked on myself, I couldn't be around those people anymore because I have an addictive personality. And I wanted to get away from all the drugs and all the session because it was killing me. And I couldn't have continued. I might not be here today ever to continue what I was doing. Let's say that much. And it felt very, very fucking lonely. Very lonely. I was on my own a lot. Luckily, I do well on my own. Believe it or not. Lone wolf type of personality. But it can be really lonely, yeah. Not always fun. And people just misunderstand you, and they underestimate you too. You won't want any of these people back, though. No, I wouldn't. It's been and gone. I don't want that back. I don't resonate with that. Absolutely don't. It's been and done. Nothing Compares to You was the song. Yeah, it's a good song. Great song. Don't say it's going well, but I'm impatient. I want to go faster. I think you're going really fast anyway, Dawn. That sounds it. You want to go faster. I think you're doing really well. You've got it's good to have that drive, though. That's really good. Alpha's saying, my apologies, though, as I tend to move to 5Ds because I'm losing the 4D mindset. It's frustrating at times. Yes, it can be. Absolutely. G5. Are you gang affiliated? No, G5. No, man, I'm not in a gang, man. What the hell? No, that's not my life. That's more of a prison mindset, isn't it? Gang affiliation. No, I don't. Maybe years ago, but I've never been in that type of world that deeply. Absolutely. There's nothing to apologize for, Alpha. No, there's not. Absolutely agree with you there, Dawn. Alpha saying thanks to Dawn. Anthony, hi, Anthony. Are you wearing rosemary beads? No, I'm not. It's a microphone. Helps the audio. That's what I'm wearing. Anyway, I'll carry on. Last bit of 4D, then I'm going to move to 5D. So 4D, the exit from 4D is responsibility. You move toward 5D when you stop blaming your triggers. You take ownership of your responses. Your response is your responsibility. And it's hard sometimes because someone could be really fucking rude to you. It could be a bang out of order, mate. But your responses need to be measured. You're still putting boundaries. You're not taking any shit, but you're not getting too you're not having a knee-jerk emotional reaction. Easier said than done, that one. It's breathing before you react. Being mindful before you react. And sometimes I've honest to God, I've wanted to say so many things to somebody, but I haven't. But I've gone, boom, little snap, a little boundary I put in place, and then I shut up. I go quiet. And then I just hold on, and I've got fire in my belly. And if I let it go, I can. God, I put people into tears sometimes in the past. I've made people. It's horrible. I've made people cry sometimes. I really have, because I go right for the jugular, go right for the throat, I go right to the core. I can be really cutting, and I can be. And in the past, I've been like that, and it's not good, and I'm not proud of it. I don't like doing that. but I'm human and I fucked up in the past sometimes. And I try not to, do my best not to do that. It's hard though sometimes, especially if someone's been banged out of order, if they're all over you. It's putting the boundaries in place, but in a more like in a calm and strong way kind of thing. So the doorway out of 4D is responsibility, not positivity. It's just being responsible, it's being accountable. I'm going to move on to 5D. I think I need to. So basically 3D is unconscious living, 4D is conscious suffering, and 5D is conscious choice. Yeah. Dawn saying, I need to walk my Furby and get to the horses. I plan to be there 2 hours. Oh, sorry, Dawn, you need to live your life, for God's sake. Gutted because you're into this, loving this topic. Oh, I'm glad that you like this, love this topic. You've got things to do, of course, I get it. Dawn saying, you're so like my friend Jennifer. She's the nicest person in the world, but if you deserve it, she will make you cry. Wow. Yeah, I've made people cry in the past, Dawn. I have. I don't like doing that. I don't feel good about that either. It's not good. I suppose you've got to put boundaries in place though sometimes. But try not to be too harsh with it, from my perspective. Yeah, people take your kindness for a weakness a lot of the time. Happened to me so many times in my life. It happens to me a lot actually. It does repeat, and then I've got to show people. And a lot of the time, what happens to me is some people go after me because they think, oh, he's a nice, easygoing person. He's harmless, him. And then because I'm kind and I'm easygoing as fuck, and then they think, oh, for a game, I'm going to attack Brad. I'm going to go for him. And I let him get away with it once, and I let him get away with it twice. But the third time, I'm like, I'm fucking no more of this shit. I'm not having this. This is not happening. No way. And then what happens a lot of the time with me, some people don't even speak to me anymore. They stop speaking to me. They stay away from me, which is a win because they're toxic. They stay away because they know that I'm gonna upset them. Let's say that I'm gonna ruffle their feathers. And they just don't speak. Some people don't speak to me. They stay away. Because I come at them with truth sometimes. Truth hurts. Anyway, is that the best way to be? I don't know. That's me being, I'm analysing that. Is that the best way to be? I don't know. But you've got to put your boundaries in place. Anyway, one more. Let's have a sip of tea. She calls out bullshit, that's all, yeah. You've got to. You've got to, yeah. Otherwise, the bullshit's just going to be, otherwise, people are just going to keep going at you. So an unconscious, toxic person, not all people that are unconscious are truly toxic, though. Excuse me, sorry, burping. That doesn't sound very good. But anyway, they're going to keep going until you call out that bullshit. So, yeah, definitely don't. You've got to. She's a scrub nurse too. Yeah, you mentioned her before in the past. Amazing. That's crazy, isn't it? Very specific. She says that too. Wow. Yeah. Some similarities. Can't say the word sometimes, Dawn. Similarities there. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to talk about 5D now. I need to talk about 5D. What is 5D consciousness? And see if you think, let me just get this a moment. I struggle to spell this word, so I'm going to have to copy it down. What is 5D consciousness? What is it? We're going to talk about that. And see if you're at this, if you resonate with any of this. What are you really upset at, Sander? I'm really upset, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm sharing here. What's wrong, Sander? Please tell us what's wrong. Are you okay? Right. I'll go to you in a moment, Sandra, sorry. Alpha saying 5D and a crappy person is the difference when their life is gone crap more, gone worse. Why they're projecting became their crap. The projection became their crap. Yes, Alpha. And one moment, sorry, Sandra. Sandra's saying, I sent my photos of my fresh baked cookie to my sister and she fucking coldly shut me down. Because she's jealous, Sandra. There's jealousy there, there's insecurity there. What you're dealing with there is an unconscious individual, Sandra. You know this. You fucking know this. That says it all, man. This is nothing new, is it? This is nothing new. Saying that she isn't baking or eating, but zero comment on sharing photo. Like a decent pic. Oh, they look really nice. And one person to go, oh, you're making cookies? They look really good. To be inspired by it, or at least appreciative of it, or respectful towards it. Right, so do you need that external validation, Sandra? Do you need it? You don't fucking need it. You don't need that external validation. External validation is nice, don't get me wrong. We all like to be given a pat on the back. We all like a bit of appreciation. We all love respect from others. It's sad, I get it. You're so proud and they look lovely, and I wanted to share that with her. You wanted to share that, and that's coming from a loving place, isn't it, Sandy? Coming from a good place there. Unfortunately, they're not going to meet you halfway. Sometimes they might have glimpses of that, but it's just not. You can't bring a horse. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I'll say it again. I love this saying. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it fucking drink. And that's what happens. It's shit, especially if it's a family member. You cease sharing anything with her. Lesson learned. Why bother? Exactly. That's you putting a boundary in place. That might be an invisible boundary, but it's a visible boundary to you, but invisible to her. But I'm not going to bother sharing that with you anymore. I'm trying to share something positive with you, but you're not accepting it and you don't want it. That's fine. That's the way to go, Sander. That's a win. It's okay to be a bit upset by something sometimes, but then quickly learn from it, quickly adapt. Higher consciousness level is what we're talking about. You've learned a lesson. That's great. Alpha Zone is then saying, but 5D, when truly there are no excuses, the universe has slapped me around. I'm surprised I'm still breathing, LOL. Life can be hard, Alpha. Oh, God, yeah. Life is so difficult sometimes. Absolutely. And you think you're winning at one point, Alpha. Well, I do sometimes. Think, oh, I'm on a good run here. And then life just goes, boom, slaps me really hard. So I get it. The universe, yeah, it can be difficult. Sandra's then saying, no, completely shut down. I don't know why I'm so upset, but here we are. It's okay. Process your emotions. You're acknowledging that you're upset. I get it. I get why. I get why. It's a little bit disappointing, isn't it, in a way? I get it. You're a bit disappointed. You expect more from people sometimes. People that you love, your family, and they just don't. They're not able to meet you halfway, Sander. They're not able to. They're unconscious, unfortunately, in relation to what you were talking about. Black Panda 1302, 5D. Yeah, I took 5D last night. It was, Black Panda, hello. Right, okay. Each their own, Black Panda, with regards to what you've just said. Alpha Zone goes 321, the rocket's going up. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 5D. Here we go. So, 5D, integration and embodied awareness. If you resonate with what anything 5D is, let's see where we're at. One of the biggest myths in the world is that 5D means feeling really good all the time. 5D is amazing. It's high consciousness. Oh, you're going to feel amazing all the time. Everything's going to be perfect. Fuck, no, that's not real. It's not. It's just not. The reality is emotions still arise. They're still going to bubble up. You're still going to get upset. You're still going to get angry sometimes. You've got a 5D level of consciousness, but you still have emotions. You still have challenges. Life still challenges you. Like I've just said, it's still going to be, there's still challenges in life. That's the reality of it. But your baseline is steadier. Your baseline is steadier. The challenges don't bother you as deeply. You're calmer about it. You're more neutral towards toxicity. You might get upset. You might get pissed off, but you're not going to stay there for that long. You go back to your baseline. Your baseline is solid. Your foundations are so strong. You're going back to baseline. It's basically low levels of reactivity. You have low levels. You're not reactive for as long. Short-lived. The reactions that you have are, let's say, much lessened. You're still reactive a little bit. That's normal, but you're less reactive. Your internal validation is really strong. Your moral compass is really strong. You're coming from a good foundational place, and you're just less reactive to things, less pissed off by the world. You're less influenced by those things. Is it always easy? No. You're not always going to be perfect with this. Let's be real. Anyway, I'll move on. Inner authority replaces external validation. Inner authority. You're reliant upon that inner validation instead of the external validation. You're less bothered by bullshit from other people. You're less bothered by comments. Like I get thingies on here, trolls on here. They say loads of bad things to me sometimes. Am I bothered by it? No. I laugh it off. It's like water off a duck's back, mate. It's like, whatever. Oh, you called me bald. Of course I'm bald. It's okay. I accept the way I am. It doesn't bother me. Call me all sorts of names. It's okay. It's water off a duck's back. You stop outsourcing your worth. So you're becoming, therefore, in a way, less of a people pleaser. Just for example, when you're saying no, you say yes to yourself. I love this fucking saying. It's really, really good. When you say no, you say yes to yourself. So therefore, you don't feel as guilty for saying no to some things. You put self-compassion first. You're putting yourself first. It doesn't mean I know that might sound selfish, and maybe there's an element of selfishness there. Of course there is. But sometimes you've got to be, don't call it selfish, sometimes it's being self-full. You can still help others when you can, but sometimes you've got to put yourself first and being unapologetic about that. You trust your own decisions. You're confident in your own decisions. They work for you. Maybe not everyone's going to understand your decisions and your life choices, but that's okay. You trust your own decisions. You're okay with that. You're not asked about what other people think. That's the big one. You don't need constant reassurance. You're not an approval junkie as much. We all like approval. We all like a pat on the back, like I've said. But you don't need that constant reassurance all the time. Like I've got my own internal reassurance. I'm doing my best. I'm human. I drop the ball sometimes. It's okay. My best is going to be different every day. Again, that's okay. I'm doing my best. Like I do these lives, man. And some really do better than others. Sometimes I feel like my lives are really good and sometimes they don't feel so good. It depends on how my energy is or whatever. But I don't really need that reassurance. It's my own internal reassurance. This is therefore quiet confidence, not the ego. 5D is when you stop asking permission to be yourself. You stop asking permission to be yourself. Being unapologetically yourself. Of course, that doesn't mean be rude to others. I mean, you're still being kind and a good person. Anyway, let me just go back to the comments. So, Alpha, I might have read this already, sorry. But 5D, when truly there are no excuses, the universe has slapped me around. Sorry, I've already read that. Alpha says 5D, love and life, going to paradise, walking through portals. Nope. It's all mindset. Most are myths, I find. 5D is more accepting. I agree with your concepts. Okay, cool. Thanks. Big Jim. Hi, Big Jim. You say, no, you are a control freak. Why am I a control freak? Why? What I'm saying is my perspective. I'm not trying to control anyone. No, I'm really not. I'm really not. I'm not trying to control you. I'm speaking about certain topics. Some people will agree, some people will partially agree, and some people will disagree. I'm just talking about my perspective. These are my truths, not your truths, though. Listen to yourself. I do actually, Big Jim. I watch my own videos back. Yeah, I do, and I learn from them. That's your perception, your perspective, Big Jim. Stand on this side of the fence. What's your side of the fence look like, Big Jim? What's your life like? How's your life going is the question. I'll leave that to you. I'm not trying to control you, though. I'm not a control freak. No, I'm not trying to control you. I don't intend to control you. I'm open-minded, and therefore I accept other people's perspectives as long as they're respectful and they're not nasty. I respect other people's perspectives. Everyone's got their own version of the truth, haven't they? I don't know what you think about that. Anyway, I'm going to carry on. So 5D, integration and embodied awareness. 5D stability, not euphoria. It's not like, oh, I'm in 5D, I've got a 5D level of consciousness, everything's perfect, I'm in heaven or whatever it is. Nope, it's stability. One of the biggest myths is that 5Ds actually means being good, things are good all the time. That's not true, is it? Things aren't fucking good all the time. I wish they were, but I don't think they are. They're good some of the time, but not all of the time. Let me carry on. Sorry, I've gone through that already. I've lost my train of thought. One moment. Big Jim saying, you have to learn from hearing yourself in your lives. You should be well aware of what comes out from your mouth. I am very well aware of what comes from my mouth, Big Jim. Very conscious of that. What part of what I'm saying is bad is the question, Big Jim. Can you elaborate? What am I saying? Am I saying things that are horrible? Am I saying things that are rude? And another big one, never underestimate the power of suggestion. I'll say it again. Never underestimate the power of suggestion. So some people will suggest you doing this. They'll suggest you doing that. Therefore, they're trying to put words in your mouth or twist what you're saying. That can occur sometimes, can't it? And the power is just to go, I'm not being manipulated. I know myself. I know my consciousness level, and I'm okay with it. I'm not bothered by it. I'm neutral towards that. Anyway, boundaries become natural, not aggressive. When you first put boundaries in place and you're not used to doing it, if you're a people pleaser like I've been in my life, you start to fucking put boundaries in place and you begin it. It's messy. It doesn't feel natural because you've got your old coping mechanisms. You're trying to put boundaries in place, trying to protect yourself. People will take your kindness for a weakness. So you're trying to protect yourself, basically, putting boundaries in place, not taking any shit. And it feels messy when you first begin that, in my opinion. But once you become more used to it, you're not going to be aggressive with it. You're going to be like calmer about it, less reactive about it. So in 3D, boundaries are reactive. Boundaries, like, for example, someone's rude to you and then you start swearing at them really harshly, would be reactive. 4D, they're clumsy, like I've just said. You're just starting to put boundaries in place. You're trying to put them in a healthy way, but they're clumsy because you're not used to doing it. 5D, they're calm and they're clear. You've got used to it. You've got better at it. Sometimes you've got to have the courage to be shit at something to begin with. So when you begin something, like putting boundaries in place, you're not going to be perfect at it to begin with. You're going to be a bit shit at it, potentially. Big Jim saying, you are talking about people's consciousness. Yes, I am. I can't speak for each individual person because I have to get to know that individual person. There's so many people in the world. I would never be able to do that. But yeah, there's different consciousness levels. Yes, in my opinion. Big Jim saying, when confronted, you are very disturbed by being called out. I'm not disturbed at all, mate. I'm calm, man. I really am. I really am. So, therefore, what you would be saying is, it would be my interpretation of what you're saying. You're trying to put words in my mouth, really. I'm not disturbed by it. I feel really calm. Honest to God, I'm chilled. I'm good. Alpha Zone saying, but this is a really good example of see where you're at. It's a great way of seeing where you're at, where your confidence levels are. And another one, if someone says something really rude to you and you feel upset by it, that's something you need to work on, in my opinion. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. But if someone says, like, Brad, you're bald, like, I know I'm bald, I accept I'm bald, I'm not bothered by that comment. Just for example, I accept it, I love myself. Big Jim saying every individual is only accountable for themselves. You're absolutely correct, Big Jim. I agree with that. Absolutely right, Big Jim. Well said. We're all accountable for ourselves. I completely agree with that. Absolutely. You're reading from a book to sound intelligent. I've got notes, Big Jim. I'm open and honest. I always have. One moment. I've just got to do something. One sec. I'll be with you in a sec, Big Jim. So saying I'm reading from a book to sound intelligent. Let me think about that. I have notes, Big Jim. Every single time I do a live, I write a load of notes down. It helps me to do the lives. And I do have some pointers that I'm reading, and I'm very open and honest about that. So I do read. I've got the notes here, look. Yes, I do. And if I didn't have those, I wouldn't be. But what I do is I have little bullet points, and then I read them, and then I add my own perspective onto that. I don't think I'm the most intelligent person in the world. I'm not. I have a decent level of intelligence, but I'm not massively... I'm not the smartest person in the world, Big Jim. But I try my best. But I do always have notes because it helps me to guide my lives. That's how I do it. I'm very open and honest about that. But I do agree every person is accountable to themselves. I'm powerless over other people. I don't have power over other people. No, I don't, Jim. Big Jim, I don't. I only have power over myself. I have power over my reactions, but I don't have power over other people. No, I don't. I can protect myself, absolutely. And so should you, and so should everybody in a way. With respect, of course. You're only speaking from your side of the fence, as I said. Yeah, you are. You're giving your own perspective, which is absolutely fine. Feelings are neither right or wrong. They just are. Yeah, I suppose they are. They're just feelings, yes. And that's every individual is going to have a different interpretation of that, Big Jim. I agree with that. The mind is so powerful, absolutely. You are trying to dissect something you are powerless over. I'm trying to dissect something I'm powerless over. I have power over my own thoughts and feelings only internally, Big Jim. I can't control other people. I don't want to control other people. I don't think that's the right way to go about life anyway, Big Jim, at all. I really don't. I really, really don't. I talk about things from my own perspective. I'm not forcing my opinions on anyone else. And sometimes my opinion can be changed. If I talk about a certain topic and someone comes in with a better argument, or let's say if we're debating, I'm open to them, to other people's opinions as well. Therefore, being open-minded. I'm not always right. But I speak from my own truth, my own perspective. A Big Jim saying, I believe you want intelligence. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm not the most intelligent person, Big Jim. I'm really not. I'm not completely dumb either, from my own perspective. Some people speak a lot better than I do. They really do, naturally. Like Jordan Peterson would run rings around me. He's on another level. He's like PhD level, really smart person. I'm not at that level. I'm really not. And I don't pretend to be either. Anyway, Big Jim saying, however, give the persons you speak with more credit of their mindset. Be a cheerleader. Be a cheerleader to yourself, do you mean, Big Jim? Yeah, instead of having that, what's it called? Inner critic. You're replacing the inner critic with a cheerleader kind of thing, is how we interpret that. I hope that I'm giving you credit. I'm reading what you're saying. I'm trying to be respectful as I can. I'm not perfect either, though, Big Jim, as you can tell. Of course, you can tell. Alphazone saying, what annoys me is how people think one should be naturally attuned or know if it by pure psychic means, or think that is ignorance. Okay, yeah. Like people, some people expect you to read the minds. Yes, some people do. And then they get annoyed at you for not reading the mind. That can occur sometimes with some people sometimes. The mind, Big Jim saying the mind is a powerful, good, bad, misunderstood, loving thing. Yeah, the mind is so powerful. It's so complex as well. Big Jim, it really is. It's incomprehensible a lot of the time, man. It's so complex. There's good, there's bad, there's misunderstood, there's loving. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Sander's then saying, I'm sending my sister love and peace and self-acceptance. Well, amazing, Sander. You've got annoyed by something that your sister's done. She's not giving you what you wanted, I suppose, in that situation, but you're accepting that. That's 5D. That's a high consciousness level. Big Jim saying, why are you speaking from the angle you're speaking from? Okay. What is your point you're working to get across? You wanted to get across. I've just basically spoke about 3D. I spoke about 4D. I'm talking about 5D at the moment. I'm going through the comments, Big Jim, as well. I'm trying to interact with that. My point of getting across is to become more 5-dimensional, to become more self-aware, self-actualized, to raise your consciousness level, to become just more, to seek internal validation instead of external validation, to become more aware, to become just a better, well-rounded, healthier, stronger person, to help you navigate the challenges of life. That's where my angle is coming from. That's what my channel's about, really. I talk about narcissism, I talk about other topics, but they all kind of fit into this. They do. Jordan Peterson is my family. I think, Big Jim, I absolutely love Jordan Peterson. Oh my God, I'm inspired by that man so much. He's such a, wow, on another level, Big Jim, on another level, intelligence-wise, like, wow. I don't agree with every single thing he says, but I think he's got so many good points. I think he's a great person, and I think he helps the world. He's helping the world a lot, from my own opinion. Big Jim saying, a cheerleader is one who cheers people up. Yeah, being in relation to what you're saying, some people are radiators. They radiate warmth, and some people are drains. I know it's only two types of people there. There's more people than just that. But it's good to big people up, to cheer people on. Absolutely. To want the best for people, to bring out the best in others if you can. That's a really good altruistic way of being. That's a good way of being, Big Jim. Being warm towards others will be an example of that, in my opinion. So tell me about your subject. Well, I've been talking about the subject. I'm going to go into that a bit more, into 5D. What is 5D consciousness? I'm just going through the comments as we speak, though. I try to go through the comments, Big Jim, and then I go to my content, and then I go to the comments, and I go to my content, and I give my own perspectives, of course. The mind is almost equal to a God of a person's understanding, Big Jim saying. Where does my subject stand in the spiritual realm? Where does it stand exactly in the spiritual realm? I think it's higher consciousness, 5D consciousness level, if you do believe in that type of thing, new earth type of thing. I think it aligns with how I believe, my personal opinion, not everybody's, how we should be as a collective human consciousness. We should be, to be truly spiritual, we'll be heading towards that 5D consciousness. I hope I've answered that the best I can. Sander's saying, I love him too, Brad. Jordan Peterson. Sander, yeah, great man. Great fucking man. Unbelievable. Like, my mind's blown by Jordan Peterson and others. There's other big great thinkers as well. Where do you want people to be in your view of the world? In an ideal world, Big Jim, that we don't live in, that I have no control over, of course, I'd love people to be more understanding and have a higher consciousness level and be aware. I'd love more people to be aware of their own insecurities and work through them and just become healthier in relation to that, to say it very, very vaguely. I'd love for more people to be more conscious of themselves and how they act in the world. I think the world would be a better place if more people were like that. Less egotistical, less narcissistic, less nasty, less ego-driven. Do you know, like ego-driven meaning like shitting on people just to climb the ladder, not caring who you hurt. Less people like that, more people that are more conscious of what they're doing, people working together more, people being a cheerleader, like you said. I'd love for that to occur more. But I'm realistic. I'm fucking realistic, mate. Is that going to happen like that magically? No, probably not. But I think some people I think hopefully more people will be like that. That's what my channel's about, really. It really, really is. It's not going to be this. My content's not for everybody. I'm a big gym at all. But it's me speaking honestly and genuinely as much as I can. The simplicity of this, one moment, sorry, Alpha's on saying, the simplicity of this conversation I find interesting. How does it fit into a spiritual realm? All life is spirit. Thank you. You speak very concisely, by the way, Alpha Zone, and very specifically, so thank you. I'm going to share that comment. Thanks to anyone that's liked and subscribed, by the way. All life is spirit. Yeah, energy type of thinking, Alpha Zone. You think, Big Jim saying, I think it's good to be loving, to be bad, to be kind, to be hateful, to be rude, fake, and so on. You think it's good to be all those things? And can we all be loving? Yes. Can we all be bad sometimes? Yes, that's human. Can we all be hateful sometimes? Yes, that's human. Can we all be rude sometimes at some point? Yes, we can. Can we all be fake at some point in our lives? I believe, yes, we can. You think it's good to be all of those things? Why do you think it's good to be all of those things? I think it occurs. Big Jim says more understanding happens when you age. If you grow mindfully, I agree, Big Jim, and how you're raised, it does affect how you are. But I think your personal choice as well. I know what ego. Are you speaking being ego driven? Do I have an ego, Big Jim? Yes. I like to think it's a healthier one, though. I like to think it's a healthier one. You might have your own opinion, your own perspective on who I am and what I am. That's your perspective. That's your truth. That's your opinion. I can't take that away from you, can I? Am I ego-driven to an extent? I'd say so, yeah. I have an ego. We all have an ego. Is it a toxic ego or a healthy ego? That's the question. I think everyone has an ego, and I think ego can help you in life. It can help you achieve things, can help you do things. It can give you confidence, can't it? I can do this. I'm going to smash this. I'm going to aim for the stars. That's ego, isn't it? Kind of thinking. The Big Jim saying there's a time and a place for characters and character defects. Yeah, there's a time and a place for those conversations, absolutely. And every individual will be open to talk about those things sometimes, and sometimes they can't be bothered with it, kind of thinking. Anyway, sorry, I'm just going to continue with what I was saying. One moment. So 5D is compassion without self-betrayal, okay? Referring to my notes again, okay? This is a huge shift. 5D compassion doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. You're not tolerating bullshit. You're putting boundaries in place. Doesn't mean fixing others. You can't fix everyone else, man. You really can't. You can't give a helping hand to a closed fist. You can't give a helping hand to a closed fist. Brings to mind with regards to that. Just because you might want to help others, and that's great, and you should try sometimes. But some people don't want to be helped, and you shouldn't waste your energy on those people. There's no point. They need to meet you halfway sometimes with fixing others. And also, you might think, oh, that person over there, if they were more this, if they were more that, they'd be a better person. And you can't expect that from someone else. They're going to be who they are. You can't fix them. You've got to want to fix yourself if you need to be fixed or want to be fixed. And also, 5D doesn't mean that you're abandoning your self-respect. Never. You should not abandon your own self-respect, your own integrity. You can still understand someone, though, and walk away. You understand them, but you can walk away. You leave them to it. Let them do what they want to do, of course. 5D, I suppose, is empathy with a spine, isn't it? 5-dimensional consciousness is like being a super empath to an extent. It's like I have empathy towards others, but I've also got boundaries. I'll go to the comments in a moment. I'm going to speak a little bit more. Triggers become information, not identity. So triggers become information that you can use. Triggers within yourself. You still get triggered. Someone's really rude to you and aggressive, it's still going to make you feel a bit upset. Normal. But you don't let it spiral. So someone's rude to you. If you've not really worked on yourself, that could bother you for a whole week, potentially. And you're playing out that scenario in your head. They were really rude to you, but you didn't respond to them. Your ego's hurt, for example. You go home, you've had a bad day at work, you've worked with an absolute arsehole who's been horrible to you. They've said something horrible to you. You've not reacted the best way. You might not even responded. And then you're thinking, oh, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I should have said this, but you didn't. And then you go home and you can't sleep. Has anyone ever done that? Because I have. And then it just spirals. You're thinking about it all the time, and it's eating you alive. Your ego's hurt, for example. If you're more of a higher, if you've got, like I said before, if you've got more foundational boundary, sorry, I'm struggling to get the words out sometimes. If you're more well-rounded, you're not going to let that bother you for as long. If you've got a high level of, not, let's say, a 5D consciousness level, it's going to bother you a bit, but it's not going to bother you for a long time. You're going to get over it more quickly, for example. And these triggers, they don't define you. They're just informing you. You're learning from them. I'll go to the comments again, guys. I'm in and out, so. The ego is created. We all create, Alpha saying, sorry, the ego is created. We all created the ego, the self, or anyone truly master the true self can give it a name. No, that's why the ego to label, the ego's to label things. Yes, put things in boxes, potentially, what you're trying to say, Alpha. I'm interpreting that. If I misinterpret anyone, please just feel free to correct me, by the way. What determines a good ego? A healthy ego, giving or receiving? Giving or receiving. What would be a healthy ego? A healthy ego has empathy behind it, potentially. A healthy ego is humble. It's confident, but it's humble at the same time. It takes a healthy ego would take responsibility for its actions. That's my interpretation. And a toxic ego would not. Toxic ego would be blaming everyone else. A toxic ego would be threatened by other things, more insecure, acting more from fear, acting insecurely. And insecurity can come across as in a lot of different ways, can't it? In my opinion. Insecurity can be internalized by some people. I've done it so many times. I'm insecure sometimes as well, let's be real. And that will always be with me sometimes, but I try to manage it the best I can. That's more of a healthier way of dealing with it. However, if I'm really insecure and therefore going towards a toxic ego, I'm going to bully others. I'm going to put them down to make myself feel better. I'm going to be a coward more. I'm not going to take any responsibility for my own actions. Will be a toxic ego. That's the best way I can answer that, Big Jim. Alpha Zone saying, thank you, Alpha Zone, you're helping me out here, mate. A good ego is both giving and receiving. Open to giving, coming from a good place. Giving, what you're giving is the question. If you're giving out good, if you're trying to be a cheerleader, like Big Jim said before, you're trying to big people up, you're trying to be warm towards others, you're giving them warmth, you're giving them, you're making them feel good. Like in my job that I do, if I get somebody new, I train them up, I'll give them the platform. I'll go, there you go. I'm here for you, but I'm going to let you perform, let you do what you need to do. If you need me, I'm here. I'm trying to be warm towards them. I'm giving them confidence. I'm allowing them to be themselves, would be giving. Receiving in a healthy way would be, imagine you've given me a compliment. I could receive that in like a humble way. I wouldn't let it go to my head too much. Would be a healthy ego way of dealing with that. I received the information in a healthy way. I wouldn't let it go to my head, hopefully. I wouldn't become too egotistical about it. Let's say that in a bad way. Big Jim saying Alpha, excellent. Yeah, I agree, Big Jim. You made some really good points as well, Big Jim, by the way, absolutely. And Alpha's made some great points too. Thanks for sharing. Alpha Zone says thank you. Big Jim says, how does one know they need to be fixed? I don't have to waste my time to understand person. That's fine. You don't have to understand anybody if you don't want to. You don't have to. Sometimes if someone is, let's just say you've got a really nasty person, for example, Big Jim, and that's who they are. That's what they are. Why the fuck would you want to understand them anyway? Is what I'm trying to gauge from what you're saying. And I get that. Why would you? Why would you? Sometimes, if you want to understand them, you can do. Put yourself in their shoes maybe for a while. But if they're only going to bring problems to your life, why bother understanding them is what I'm gauging from what you're saying. I get it. That's a understandable response. You don't have to. How does one know they need to be fixed? Through awareness, wouldn't it be, Big Jim? If you're unconscious, though, if you're completely unconscious, you don't know what you're doing. You're not aware of what you're doing. You don't know that you need to be fixed because you're not going to be, your eyes are closed. You're not aware. So those type of people maybe never know. Maybe that works for them. That's a different perspective. I think it comes from awareness. How would you know you need to be fixed? Imagine if, right, you act in a certain way and it's your life's completely fucking shit, for example. The way that, let's imagine I act in a way that's really egotistical, I'm nasty to others, and basically no one wants to be around me, no one likes me, people keep attacking me. The common denominator would be me in that situation. If loads of different people had the same problem with me, I kept getting fired from my jobs, I can't keep a healthy relationship, I'm just not, I keep getting into arguments with everybody, that would be a sign that something needs fixing, wouldn't it? That's maybe how someone would be, if you had some awareness, you go, actually, I'm the common denominator in all my problems, would let you know that you need to be fixed. However, not everybody gets to that point because the eyes are shut. They're not aware. Every individual is different though, Big Jim. Every individual, this is quite, people can be really complex, can't they? And everyone's got different perspective, and I respect that. Anyway, Alpha Zone saying that is choice. It's up to the person to fix themselves if they want to, if they dare look. Everyone's got some trauma. Everyone's shit stinks, mate. Everyone has shit that stinks. Everybody, in different ways, different levels. And Jordan Peterson said, clean your own room, tidy your own mess up. Amazing. Such a simple message. Amazing though, Alpha Zone. Begin by cleaning your own room. Tidy up. Begin small. Begin in your own bedroom. Clean your own shit up. Fix that first before taking on the world. I'm paraphrasing Jordan Peterson very vaguely there. He says it much better than I can. He's not well at the moment, is he, Jordan Peterson? I think he's ill. I think he's got an autoimmune disease, hasn't he? He eats a carnivore diet, doesn't he? He has water and just steak, red meat. And I think that's helped him. And it's Michaela, his daughter, isn't it, who's got a similar condition, maybe worse than his. But Jordan Peterson's not very well at the moment. So just to change the topic, I hope that he's okay. I hope he heals well. He's a great man, in my opinion. Anyway, Big Jim saying, when someone is being rude, well, I say, don't take ownership what comes from someone's mouth or take on their actions. So let me rephrase that. Big Jim saying, when someone is being rude, don't take ownership from what they're saying. That's not yours, is it, Big Jim? I'm going to just share that. Thanks, Big Jim. That's a good one. The other comments have been really good as well. Don't take ownership from what other people are saying. Take on their actions. They're not your actions, are they, Big Jim? That's the individual's actions. The rude person's actions are theirs. That belongs to them, not to you. Absolutely. Very wise, by the way. In my opinion, anyway. Southside, how's Australia? I've no idea, Southside. I'm from England. I live near Manchester. I've no idea how's Australia. Do you know how Australia is? I don't know. Anyway, Alpha Zone said, I'm saying the ego is a label to name the self. The ego is a compass for the world. Alpha Zone saying, I'm saying the ego is a label to name the self. The ego is a compass for the world. Can you elaborate a bit more on that, Alpha? Sorry, my mind's a bit blown there. You're speaking really well, by the way, but please can you dissect that for me a little bit? I'm not understanding you completely there, if I'm completely honest. Forgive my maybe my interpretation of it's not great there. I'm really sorry. If you can elaborate on that, that'd be great. No pressure, by the way. Big Jim is saying, you don't have to. What I'm trying to say, ego is making someone feel good or making yourself feel good. Which is the best way to look at ego? My opinion is the best way to look at ego is we all have one. Anyone who says, I don't have an ego is full of shit, in my opinion. We all have one. We all have one. And the ego can protect you and it can make you do great things. It gives you self-belief and to tackle the challenges of the world. Best way to look at it is I'm going to have a healthy ego, an understanding ego, a self-accountable ego. I'm not going to be a nasty person with it. I'm not going to let my ego take control of me. The ego can go down a dark path, though, if it's done in a toxic way, and it can cause you a lot of problems. Some people are eaten by their own ego. What does that mean? They're eaten by their own ego. They become so controlling and manipulative, and their ego has to control everything, and it's dark and it's toxic, and it might let them win short term, but in long term, they can't form relationships. They end up on their own potentially. They hurt others, and then the karmic debt is paid at some point. I'm speaking the best I can in real time here. I might not have covered that correctly, Big Jim, but I've done a little bit there. Big Jim saying a really nasty person comes with baggage, emotional baggage. I will never put myself in their shoes. However, I'll still stay consistent on how I interact with them. Yeah, that sounds like you've got boundaries in place there. Yeah, a nasty person is going to come with a hell of a lot of emotional baggage. We all have some emotional baggage, let's be real, but a really nasty person is just spilling out in their behavior. They've got so much emotional baggage, so much trauma, they've not dealt with it. So therefore it can end, if it's left unchecked, it comes out as nastiness. It spills out in the behavior. You'll be consistent from your end, though. That's putting boundaries in place, Big Jim, isn't it? Putting boundaries in place, protecting yourself. She's a very good, healthy way of dealing with things. You're not taking any bullshit by the sounds of it, Big Jim. Alpha Zone is then saying, ego is simply a creation of survival skill. Ever read Joseph Campbell, The Power of Myths? Wow, no, let me write that down. Joseph Campbell, Power of Myths. I have never read that book, but it sounds interesting. So thanks for sharing that, Alpha Zone. It's a survival skill. Yeah. It protects you in a lot of ways if it's done in a healthy way. Yeah. We all have one. It's another it's an interesting topic. I need to look into that a bit more deeply. It's interesting to me anyway. So Big Jim saying, so what you're saying is treat people the way you want to be treated. Correct. Yeah, treat people the way you want to be treated, absolutely. But still put boundaries in place is what my interpretation is. Don't take any shit. Don't take bullshit. But don't turn into the bully in the process is kind of what I'm thinking. However, Big Jim says, what about the person who treats you like crap? Yeah. Should I treat them like crap? Not my mindset. No, I don't think you should treat them like crap, but I don't think you should take the bullshit. You should put boundaries in place, saying, I'm not accepting that. You should maybe sometimes, I suppose, put it back onto them. Let that's like you said before, Big Jim, that's their bullshit. Give it back to them, even if it's just mentally. That's your bullshit. I'm not accepting that. I'm not entertaining that. I've got my own life over here. I'm being successful in my own way. Whatever success is different for everyone, isn't it? I don't want that bullshit. Sometimes if someone's really, really rude and they say kill them with kindness, sometimes that might work with some people, but sometimes it just doesn't, does it? You can't kill everyone with kindness because some people are just going to be horrible, 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 and that's who they are. That's what they're going to be like. You shouldn't take any crap. No. Put boundary in place. Ideally, stay away from them. Harder when it's family, though. Kenneth is saying 5D is where Jesus lives. I would with regards to like Jesus Christ, of course, would be, yeah, it would be more towards 5D consciousness. It would, absolutely. Maybe even beyond that. Setting a standard there, Kenneth. Nice of you to join us, by the way. My name's Brad. Just to introduce myself if you don't know what my name is. Big Jim saying alpha. Another way I look at ego is like being complacent. You're complacent either when you're being complacent or not being complacent. You're complacent even when you're being complacent or not being complacent. Can be, potentially. The ego is a construct, self-defense by nature. Self-preservation to an extent as well. When one asks, what is the name of the self? Can I name my own spirit or the self that the ego is to label? Like your name could be a label. Your nationality is a label. I'm British. I'm under this. I'm putting myself in a box there. My name is Brad. I am under this name. I am this name. My ego's kind of tied to what my name is, but underneath it all, we are what we are. We are energy. We are spirit. We are not our names. We are not our jobs. We are not our cars. We are more than that. It's deeper than that, but we forget that. The ego forgets that too. Very interesting perspective, actually. Making me think. Thanks. You're making me think. I love it. Alpha, Big Jim saying, Alpha, most of what has been learned is through God and my understanding of life's bumps and bruises. Through spirit, yeah. The self has no name. You're absolutely right. In my opinion, Alpha Son. Self has no name. Spirit has no name. My name is Brad. I was born in England. I am English. I support the English football team, soccer team, whatever. Would be my ego identifying with these things, wouldn't it? Nationality is a big one as well, with the ego ties itself to, amongst a lot of other things. The real true self, the spirit, has no name. It's energy. It just is. Yes, it's pure light. Therefore, linked to source alpha. I agree. I'm going to crack on with this anyway. Thanks for sharing, by the way, guys. So 5D is going to be less drama, more depth. Less drama, more depth. People often notice fewer chaotic relationships. You're not drawn to the chaos anymore. You're away from the chaos. Less need for stimulation. Less need for craziness. Less need for chaos. You just don't want it anymore. I suppose a person who's addicted to chaos wants it. They're addicted to it. But when you more become, let's say, more, if your consciousness level expands, you don't want this constant stimulation and craziness. You value peace more. You value calm more appreciation for simplicity. I remember when I was younger, I'd have to be doing something. I'd have to be going out. I'd have to be doing something all the time. And then now I just love doing nothing. It's great. Simplicity. It's enjoying the simpler things of life, appreciating the simpler things of life without all the noise, without all the drama, without all the chaos. This isn't boredom. It's your nervous system's regulating. If you've got a well-regulated nervous system, it's calm. There's a lack of, you've not highly strung, you've not got high cortisol levels, you're calm, your nervous system's regulated, it's healthy. It wants more of that. If you're highly strung, high inflammation, chaotic, your cortisol levels are likely to be high, your blood pressure is going to be high. They say stress is a big killer, don't they? That's a dysregulated nervous system, isn't it? It's not a nervous system that's highly strung all the time. High stress, high cortisol, high inflammation. Stress is a big killer, isn't it? Going down that road. But if you're more 5D conscious, if you have 5D dimensional consciousness level, you hopefully, if you truly live in that life, you're calmer, you're less stressed out, you value peace more, you love simplicity more. Less is more sometimes, isn't it? I'm almost done with this. I'll finish this, then I'll go to the comments. Responsibility can feel empowering. In 4D, responsibility can feel heavy. It can feel like overwhelming, can't it? But in 5D, it feels freeing because you're able to be responsible. You have the ability to be responsible. Why? Because you stop waiting to be saved. You don't need the world to save you. You certainly save yourself. You trust your capacity, you trust your abilities, and you're acting from alignment. You're drawn to what aligns with you, and you are therefore, you calmly reject what doesn't align with you. Life can feel simpler, not easier. Life's not going to be easy either way, my opinion. But it's simpler, which is good. You still can face the challenges, but from coming from your foundational emotional responses are going to be more regulated, stronger, basically. You fewer internal battles. You're not beating yourself up as much. I beat myself up all my life so fucking badly, especially when I was younger. I still do it now, if I'm honest, every now and again, but I'm much less so than I used to. My inner critic used to be horrendous when I was younger. I used to beat myself up so much. It's still there, but it's a lot less than it was, if I'm honest, and therefore less self-sabotage. You can sabotage yourself from rejection. You can prevent yourself from rejection by not putting yourself out there. That can happen in relationships, can't it? Fear of rejection, not going for the job, but you could do. Fear of rejection. So you prevent yourself, you can self-sabotage. But if you've got a high consciousness level, let's say 5D consciousness level, you're going to prevent less self-sabotage. Don't sabotage your own well-being. Don't sabotage your own growth, etc. I'll go to the comments in a moment, guys. Sorry. Clarity replaces chaos. Clarity, simplicity, calmness. Instead of all that chaotic, heavy, crazy shit. Less of that. What does 3D do? It reacts. Knee-jerk reactions. 4D analyzes, thinking about what's going on. 5D is responses. Anyway, I'm going to go to the comments, guys. Big Jim saying, Alpha, most of what has been learned is through God, of my understanding and life bumps and bruises, the ups and downs of life. I'll read through the comments. I've read all them already, sorry. Big Jim saying, my granny always told me I will go to heaven by the skin of my teeth. Love my grandma. Oh, I believe you'll see her on the other side, Big Jim. When the time comes, it comes for us all, doesn't it? That's very nice. Very positive, by the way. Hi, and Big Jim, yes, as well, I agree, says Alpha Zone. Papa Boy, hi, Papa Boy, how are you? How are you doing? Hope you're okay. Good of you to join us again. Hi, Ambivert. Hello. My name's Brad, by the way. My channel is called Inspirational Ambivert. Inspirational because I'm trying to inspire people the best I can, as imperfect as that is. And Ambivert is obviously, it's introvert and extrovert. I'm in between the two. I think a lot of people are. So I'm not an extrovert or an introvert. I like to be around people, and then I like to recharge as well. That's why I've got the name I've got. Anyway, Big Jim, my YouTube name, should I say? Big Jim saying at 20, you want the Ingo. At 60, not so much. Yeah, your goals and aspirations and wants and whims, or whatever you want to call them, Big Jim, change as you get older, don't they? I'm 43. I don't know everything yet, though. I'm still learning myself. I'm a lot calmer than I was when I was in my 20s. I was absolutely crazy, mate. I was a different person then. I'm glad that I've grown since then. Some people get stuck, don't they, Big Jim? In my opinion, they don't grow from 16 and they stay stuck like a man-child, which is sad, really. Some people never grow, but that's their journey, not mine. At 20, I was very competitive. Yeah. And at 50, I'm reading the scenario as a grown man, as a mature, like a wise man. You've shared a lot of your wisdom today, Big Jim, so thank you. And I still respect other people's perspectives, Big Jim. I really do. Some of what you said doesn't agree with what I'm saying, which is absolutely fine. I'm not saying that you're wrong with your opinions, by the way. They're just different. Some of it aligns with what some agree. Some things I agree with what you're saying. Some things I don't fully agree with what you're saying, but I still have respect, if you know what I mean. That's what the angle I try to come from. Sandra's saying you're very inspiring, Brad. Thanks. I try to. A lot of what's written here inspires me as well. It's not just what I say; it's what you guys say too. It's a collective consciousness, and one answer is not right for everybody. one perspective is not right for everybody either, is it? That's not true in my opinion. Sometimes there could be 100 answers for one question, 100 perspectives different, and it depends on the individual. Anyway, Alpha saying 5D manifestation becomes easier. Things come easier. It does not mean no challenge. Bang on, Alpha. Things align more with you, but there's still challenges along the way. Grow through the suffering. Big Jim sharing the comment about my grammar was as follows. Okay, I don't believe teeth has skin. My grandmother has a staunch Catholic mother of 15 children. Wow, and never a bad soul. That's a lot of children, mate. She was giving me a message. Lovely. First of all, you don't have to explain yourself. That's linked to this above. Absolutely. By the way, it really is, in my opinion. Read it or not and move on. Just saying. You don't have to explain yourself. No, you don't. You don't owe anyone anything as well. It takes the pressure off yourself. You don't have to explain yourself. Sometimes there's no point, especially if you've got someone who's not going to listen. Big Jim. Very wise, your grandmother, by the sounds of it. A great lesson there. Thanks for explaining, by the way. You explained it really well. Thanks for sharing. Anyway, I'm going to go through the New Earth theory, and maybe not everyone believes in this New Earth theory. What is the New Earth theory? This is a concept, and I get that it's not going to be for everybody. Take what you want for it, or what you can't, what you want from it, or what you can from it. You might not agree with it. If you don't agree with it, fine. Obviously, honestly, it's all good. I'm just going to go through it the best I can. Anyway, I'm going to read Big Jim's comment. He's saying, I'm pretty set in many ways, and some others not so much. Old dogs and learn new tricks. I think old dogs can learn new tricks, Big Jim. That's the saying, though, isn't it? I think that's a saying. Old dogs can't learn new tricks. That's a saying, isn't it? And in some cases, with some people, that's true, but I don't think it's always true. Depends on the person, doesn't it? And it's okay to be set in your own ways. If that's what works for you and you're content with that, that's your choice, isn't it? Whether that is right or wrong, who knows? I don't know. Old dogs and new tricks. I think old dogs can learn new tricks, though, mate. I do believe so, if they want to. It's personal choice. So now I'm going to talk about the New Earth theory. Okay. What is the New Earth theory? What is it? So what is it? Some people imagine a mass spiritual event with this, or some fantasy escape into the promised land. It's going to be amazing. The New Earth's going to be great. It's going to be perfect. There's going to be no suffering, blah, blah, blah. But it's not that. New Earth is a place. It's a shift in consciousness. It's not a new place, should I say. It's a shift in consciousness. The theorist, I'm reading my notes here, open and honest, as I do. The theory suggests that as more individuals move from unconsciousness, from 3D, fear-based living basically, into awareness and responsibility, the collective experience of reality changes. Same planet from a different lens, from a different perspective. So what's 3D? It's the power struggles, isn't it? It's domination, it's scarcity, it's separation. 5D is more accountability, being accountable for your own actions, having emotional maturity. I think the world needs more emotional maturity with some people. Some people don't have emotional maturity. Except being responsible for your own shit, basically. Owning your own shit. I think the world would be a better place if more people were like that. It's cooperating with people, having more of a positive presence in the 5D. That doesn't happen overnight. And if it doesn't happen globally, and it's not going to happen globally all at once, is this maybe idealistic thinking? It could be potentially, if I'm being logical here with regards to this. In an ideal world, everyone would be more open-minded. In an ideal world, people would accept responsibility. In an ideal world, people would be nicer to each other and kinder to each other. Is that Is that going to completely happen? I don't know about that one. Sorry, I'm being a bit cynical there. I'm trying to be realistic. But it happens person by person if they want it to. New does not mean no pain. New world doesn't mean no, new earth theory doesn't mean no pain. It doesn't mean no responsibility. There's still responsibilities. There's still going to be pain. There's still going to be suffering. It doesn't mean no conflict. People are still going to fall out. There's still going to be conflicts. God, look at the world as we are today. It's very turbulent times at the moment. You still have to set boundaries. You still don't have to take any shit. You can still say no. It's how we relate to pain and the conflict changes. I'll go to the comments in a moment, guys. Let me just go to that now, actually. I've just read through that what is the new earth theory anyway. Let's see what people have to say. I get why. Maybe people think this is some people might think this is silly, what I'm talking about. They might do. And it's okay if you do, honestly. It's nothing personal towards me if you don't agree with what I'm saying, is it? It's not. It's just your opinion and you're being honest, which is fine. Just to set the tone a little bit there. Big Jim's going to say, I'm going to look into your current topic and ask questions. Okay? That's great, Big Jim. It's good to question things, isn't it? Therefore, it enhances your understanding. Some saying the new earth, some say it's a place where people go. But the simple way of saying new earth is a new energy. Yeah, high consciousness level. Not a literal new earth. No, not like physically new earth. It's different. It's a more well-rounded perspective, and more of an understanding perspective. Will the humanity, Alpha Zone, will we achieve this collectively? I think individuals can achieve this. I think a lot of people on here are achieving it in their own way, in my opinion. Is this going to happen like on a more mass scale? I hope so. I don't know so, but I hope so. Let's say that. You meant nude, Alpha Zone. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Hi, Yorick, by the way. How are you? Sorry, Yorick. Are you not on? Sorry, Yorick. 1 minute. I'm really sorry, Yorick. Can I apologise to you, Yorick? I'm really, really sorry. I accidentally took you off as a moderator. I'm really sorry, mate. Yorick, I apologise to you, by the way. I unintentionally took you off as a moderator. I've just replaced you as a moderator, by the way. I'm really, really sorry. I did it by accident on a previous live. I think I was walking around the area that I live in, and I pressed the button by accident. So I apologise to you, Yorick. Alpha's saying, I feel the new earth energy is about balance and a sense of universal truth. Love it. Thanks, Alpha. Again, replace that comment there. That's great. Big Jim saying, all you just mentioned is what happens about every 15 years. It's like a zit. The zit develops like a spot, okay? It gets discoloured. It gets irritated, sore, infected. There's pus. Then it pops and the healing starts. Yeah. It becomes uncomfortable. It becomes a bit messy and horrible. That's a really good terminology. Yes, it's the toxicity is seeping out. I love that saying, Big Jim. All you just meant, I'm reading it again. All you just mentioned is what happens about every 15 years. It's like a zit. The zit develops. You're starting to get a spot. The insecurities and the toxicity is coming out, isn't it, Big Jim? By what you're saying, it gets discoloured. Doesn't look good. It gets irritating. It's sore. It's painful. It's infected. It's pus. But then it pops and it all comes out. Do you know what? That is basically, in a nutshell, you've just nailed it, Big Jim, with that. That's a very good terminology of saying it. I like it. Thanks. Sandra's saying, Brad, what the fuck? Put Yorick back as moderator. Yorick, I'm really sorry. I took you off as a moderator. It was by accident. I'm apologising. So sorry. I'm human and I fuck up sometimes. Let's be real. I do. It wasn't intentional. Anyway, Sandy saying, how are you, Yorick? Yorick saying he's just woke up, you couldn't sleep last night. Was something bothering you, Yorick? Or some nights you just can't sleep, can you? The mind just races around, doesn't it? Alpha Zone is then saying, the simple answer, yes, mass, yes, but not in our time. But who knows? Have faith. Okay, I'll have faith. It's when we humans stop destructive ways. Fucking absolutely. Egotistical, selfish, everything's never enough ways. Basically, Alpha Zone, yeah. And a change in mind and energy, because we are still evolving naturally, but yes. I think the ugliness is coming out more, like Big Jim saying, like that zit terminology. I think it's becoming more prominent. It's people's behaviours and the world's a bit turbulent at the moment. The toxicity is rising. It's getting sore. I think that needs to happen before the healing begins. I really, really hope that maybe not in our lifetimes, maybe not Alpha, but I think to some extent in our lifetimes, maybe not completely, but to some extent with some individuals. That's what my channel's about, man. It really, really is. That collective consciousness to come away from destructive ways. I can only talk to a few people though, of course, or whoever that is, whoever listens, whoever watches, whoever resonates with what I'm saying. If I can help one person or become a light, help one person, I've won. That's it. That's what it's all about, really. Asana's asking, why couldn't you sleep, Yorick? To change topic. Maybe you've eaten late, yep. Raising your glucose levels, doesn't it? What did you eat, Yorick? Yorick was eating chicken. Big Jim saying tips are a bad way to look at life. The healing is also depends on how the person is taking care of the healing, yeah? It's are they thinking of solutions to their problems? Are they healing? It's how you approach the healing, or if you even approach it at all. Some people won't do that, will they, Big Jim? Depends on the individual. Sandy's saying, laughing my ass off, Yorick, yum chicken. New Wave Theory, what's that? It's towards people becoming more conscious of themselves, basically. And so speaking in a very basic way, Yorick, it's 3D consciousness is much of society is not aware of who they are. They're reactive in the responses. They act sometimes, not all of them, but they're unconscious, basically. They're not aware of what they're doing. They're not aware of their insecurities, not worked on themselves. And New Earth Theory is when people become more aware. They open their eyes. They look, they take responsibility for their own actions. They act in a more mindful way. Let's say that. They have a less destructive consciousness, if you know what I mean. They're less like egotistical, greedy ways dissolve with the New Earth Theory kind of thinking. I'm speaking very vaguely there, sorry, but that's just a little bit of it. It's becoming more awake, more aware, more conscious of our own internal issues, let's say. Seeking looking at internal validation instead of external validation. Big Jim's saying Native Americans, interesting, say this. You have a black wolf and a white wolf. I've heard this before. It's a really good one. Good and evil. Which wolf is the dominant one? Well, it's the wolf that gets fed the most. You're absolutely right, Big Jim. We all have that within us. We can all be dangerous. We can all choose which way. What wolf are you going to feed? Is what Big Jim's saying. We all have a dark side. We all have a shadow self. We can all be harmful to others. We can all be dangerous. Never underestimate anybody either. No one. But it depends what you feed the most. What are you giving the most energy to? Are you feeding the ego, going down the dark path, toxic path, or are you feeding you becoming your better self, becoming the good self? I think it's a great saying that. I didn't know it was from Native Americans though. Didn't realize that. There were a lot of wisdom from Native Americans. Anyway, Alpha's on saying, I agree, but too many people are trying to ascend to a higher level to reach this place or new earth. While possible, sure, but if the saying is true, the kingdom of heaven is within, then without. The kingdom of heaven is within. Yes. You can either be in hell on earth or heaven on earth, and it's from within, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. We can create our own hell, can't we? Believe it, a very toxic, unhappy place. You're going to be in hell in your own mind. Therefore, hell on earth can be within your own mind, within your own life. If you take two, let's say, left turn and right turns are the right way to go. Just for example, left turn is meaning instead of, you should be taking a right turn. You should be applying for that job. The right turn would be, you're not meant to, don't drink too much tonight, but instead you take the left turn. If you take too many left turns, instead of taking the right turn, you're going to go towards more of a hellish existence, potentially. If you don't do the right things, the healthy things, the nice things, or whatever you want to call it, then that can, sorry, trying to get the words out, guys, that can lead you down to, it's hell, heaven and hell in there, in this life. I believe in a lot of that, absolutely. Anyway, I'll move on. So, how to move through this shift practically? How are you going to move through it? You're going to pause. If you're in 3D, just pause. Don't react straight away. Think about what you're going to say first. Awareness. 4D, have awareness. Reflect on, reflection, self-reflection is so powerful. Self-actualization is so powerful. Reflect on what you do. Why do I do that? Why do I act like that? Is that the best way to be? Could I change this? Could I change that? Self-reflection. I'm looking at myself in the mirror, honestly, sometimes. Could I change that? Could it be better than that? I've dropped the ball. Why did I drop the ball? Why did I mess that? I fucked that up. I completely fucked that up, for example. Why did I do that? That maybe, was there a different way to do things? Self-reflection. Can be painful, that though, sometimes. Really, really can. It can hurt. It can hurt. But that's where the growth is. 5D is a choice. Responding then in a more mindful manner. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this revealing about me? Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Why is all these bad things happening to me? It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Why? What is this revealing about me? What part of this situation am I responsible for? Doesn't mean you have to be responsible for everything. You can't be responsible for other people's actions, for instance, but you've got to be. It's like if you've got loads of shitty friends that are toxic. So I used to have those type of people around me. I was choosing to be around these toxic people. I was choosing to take drugs. I was choosing to drink too much. I was choosing a shit path in my 20s. I was stupid. I was unaware. I was naive. I was underdeveloped. I was 22 years old, for example. What's it revealing about me? The company I was keeping wasn't good. Therefore, I wasn't good. I was part of the problem. What's that revealing about me in that instance? Therefore, that's where the work is needed, isn't it? That's where the work's needed. What is the situation that I'm in revealing about me? What can I change about this? What can I control about this within myself internally? That's how you're coming away from being unconscious. But you've got to be able to have, do you have the guts? Do you have the strength? Do you have the, let's say, the balls or whatever you want to call it, to dare to look at yourself? Do you dare to do that? Anyway, April saying, one moment, let me go to the thingies. I'll just finish this off. So daily anchors, breathe before reaction. Take some deep breaths. Don't react to everything straight away. And some people might interpret that for, oh, imagine if someone's rude to me and I don't react. That person might think, oh, I got away with that. But no, they didn't. I'm breathing before I react. I'm calm before I react. I'm being mindful. Doesn't mean I'm not going to react at some point, but I'm not having a knee-jerk reaction. Because if you have a knee-jerk reaction, it's not always going to be the best, most of the time. Self-honesty without self-attack. So you're being honest with yourself, but not tearing yourself up into pieces. Responsibility over blame. Instead of blaming this, blaming that, the world owes me something. The world owes me everything. This is not fair. I blame my circumstances because of the government. People complain about the government, don't they? And I get why, because the government can be shit. But you're responsible for your own life. The government's not going to save you, is it? It really fucking isn't. If you think they're going to save you, you're naive as hell, because they're just not. For right or for wrong, they're just not going to do. You're responsible for your own life, for your own circumstances, and you can create your own. It's not easy, but you can create something positive for yourself. You've got to be responsible for that, though. You've got to put the work in, and it's not always easy. But you've got to have responsibility over blame if you want to raise your consciousness level, if you dare to do that. Presence over performance. It's having that calm presence over performing for other people, doing what's right for you. This is real inner strength, basically. This is the real inner strength. Anyway, I'm going to read the comments a moment. Give me a second, please. Alpha saying, one moment, sorry. I agree, but so many people are trying to ascend to a higher level to reach this place of new earth. Where possible, sure, but if the saying is true, the kingdom of heaven is within. Sorry, I've already read that. Sorry, I'll carry on, Alpha, sorry. Alpha then says, yes, was trying to say we are all the manifestors of our own reality. Mind you, I don't agree with the Bible 100%. I'm of the same thought of that. I respect anyone's religions and their beliefs, as long as they're good, decent people, and I respect them all. However, I don't follow any of those types of things 100% either, Alpha. I like to make my own mind up. I can resonate with what you're saying, absolutely. Sanders saying, Yorick, do you miss Mr. Gold as much as I do? Yorick saying, yes. You're missing Mr. Gold. Mr. Gold is someone who comes on here and he just talks about gold, basically, but he's not here today. Hi, April. Sorry, it took me a while to get to you. Hi, April. Hope you're okay. Good of you to join us again. You've been on here before, haven't you? Hope you're okay, by the way. Yorick saying, did you guys have you guys done your Christmas shopping, presents and everything? Yes, Yorick. I've done all my Christmas shopping, all the food shopping. I've got it out of the way. The pressure's off. Have you is the question. April saying, a saying is think before you say. Think before you speak. Absolutely, April. Such a simple wisdom, isn't it? Something that we all fail at some point, but such a good thing. Think before you speak. Your words can be sharp. Your words can be very powerful, really powerful. They can really impact. Be mindful before you speak. Think before you speak. Not everyone's going to get that one every time, though, if we're being real. Mr. Gold, as we were saying, we were talking about where Mr. Gold is, and he's saying, say his name, and he appears. I believe in Mr. Gold, and then Mr. Gold is blessing others with his golden presents, let's say. Thank you, Mr. Gold. April says hello to Mr. Gold, spreading light and love or whatever. It's all good. Yorick saying, wow, he appeared. Yes, Yorick. Your wish has come true, Yorick. Sandra says, hi, Mr. Gold. Sandra saying that she misses you. And Yorick also misses you, of course. Feeling blessed in Gold now. It's Mr. Gold, of course. Anyway. Yeah, it's all good. Right. So I'll take that away. So I'm going to keep talking a little bit more. I'll go to community chat in a moment, a bit more. I'm going to leave you with this. You're not behind in life. Everyone's at a different level. It doesn't matter. One level's not better than the bloody other. And if you think that, oh, I've got a 5D level of consciousness and they've got a 3D and I'm better than them, you're going down an egotistical road there, aren't you? The egos trick you there, potentially. You're not behind. You are not broken. You're not completely broken. We're all a little bit broken, in my opinion. And I suppose you don't need fixing. Depends on which way you look at it. You're learning to live consciously. That's all it is. Sometimes it's unlearning things. Your shift from 3D to 5D isn't about becoming spiritual. It's about becoming honest, present, and responsible. Honest, present, and responsible. Present in the present moment. Why is it called present? You've heard this before. It's present is a gift. Like I give you a present. The present is a gift. The power of now kind of thinking, is it? The only thing that you have in life is the present moment, which is the now. It's the now. That's the present. Being present in the moment. being honest with yourself and with others, having integrity, being responsible. That's the new earth. That's what the new earth is. Anyway, I've talked a lot there, haven't I? I'm going to go to open chat. I'll be back in a minute, guys. Can you give me 1 minute, please? Sorry. I'll be 1 minute, okay? Sorry about that, guys. I'll come back. I don't know if anyone's still there, but I'm back. Thanks for waiting. Sorry about that. Right. Open community chat now. One moment. I'm just typing something in, guys. We'll crack on in a moment. Doing the best I can, of course. Let me go to the comments. This is just freestyling, really. April's saying it's Mr. Gold. Sandra's saying, well, I invited Mr. Gold, of course. I think I've already covered that. It was Sandra's wish. It was, actually. Big Jim said, people listen with their mouths many times. What does that mean, Big Jim? People listen with their mouths. So they don't listen, then they're just taking a turn to speak. Is that what you mean? Correct me if I'm wrong, Big Jim. That's how I interpret what you're saying. April saying that Christmas has been saved. Yorick saying, April, are you from the UK? April saying, yes, are you? Yorick saying, yes. April, I forgot where you're from. Whereabouts in England are you from? UK are you from? Question to Big Jim and Alpha, sorry, if I've forgotten. Forgive me if I've forgotten. Where are you guys from as well? Sorry, I'm not sure where you're from. If you've already said it, I've forgotten it. I'm sorry if I've forgotten it. Alpha saying, in other words, energy levels is not a contest or a race. No, it's not. Not a race. No, it's not about that. And if you start to believe that it's a race, then that's the ego that's just kicked in. Some people pretend to be spiritual, don't they? Egotistical people. And then they tie their ego to spirituality, for example. You can get them in churches, you can get them in religions, you can get them in all ways of life, not just religions, but anywhere. And sometimes people's egos tie themselves to certain things, like I'm more enlightened than you. And if someone starts to say that, you should think, questionable that, in my opinion. That's when the ego's kicked in, it's taken over. The ego's found another face, let's say, kind of thinking. April saying in the north or south, Yorick's from London. I'm from Chorley, which is near Manchester, Lancashire, northwest England. Big Jim saying, you all have a great day. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Big Jim, thank you for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for contributing. Thanks for sharing your perspectives and your wisdom. I wish you I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a Happy New Year. Thank you for thanks for sending your respect. I'm sending some appreciation and respect your way. Thank you, Big Jim. April's then saying, oh, I go down in London quite often. so you visit there quite often. Sanna's saying that she loves London. There's a lot going on there, isn't it? Huge city. Alpha says, Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas back to you, Alpha. Thank you. April said, yeah, it's fun and it's also really big. It's huge is London, isn't it? A lot going on. April says, you too, Alpha. And Merry Christmas to you all as well. Thanks, April. It's lovely. Make the best of it. It's what you make of it, I suppose. Make the best of it. Please remember as well, I think some people get very lonely at Christmas. A lot of people have a great time. A lot of people have the positivity towards it, and it's a really good thing. But some people get very, very lonely at Christmas, and it's good to be aware of those things and maybe help people if you can. If you can. I'm just trying to be understanding of others there as well. Alpha saying, but not to mention energy manipulation is everything. Energetically, but not everyone practices energy work. No. You're from Canada, Edmonton. Wow. Amazing. How's life in Canada then at the moment in Edmonton? April's from Grimsby, also known as, it's a little town, yeah. Is it Northeast Grimsby? I think. Yorick saying, has anyone seen Polar Express movie? It's a great Xmas movie. Yeah, it is. I'd say what's a really good Christmas movie, Yorick. That's a great film. Absolutely. Tom Hanks is in it, isn't he? It's a Wonderful Life, which was made in 1946, and it's in black and white. It's a Wonderful Life. Has anyone seen that film? And it's a great film. It's old. It's in black and white, but it's really well made. It's a really nice Christmas film. It's on Amazon Prime, if you've got Amazon Prime. It's an old film, but it's a great film. It got awards, didn't it? It's a very nice, uplifting, positive film. Very well made. Sandra loves Polar Express. That's a good film. That's a good suggestion by Yorick. April says, we also live near Forbes. I'm not familiar with Forbes. Sorry, April. Sandra's saying, I watched it. It's a Wonderful Life yesterday. Fantastic film. Yes. I've already said that, Sandra. Yeah, but you gave me the idea, by the way, to be honest. Oh, that's an old classic. It is, Yorick. It's a great, great movie. It's an amazing old classic film. One of the best, if not the best. Ben's asking, are you from Bolton? You're not far off, Ben. I actually live in a town. I grew up in a small town called Darwin, which is next to Blackburn. Which, if you're saying Bolton, I'm assuming that you're familiar with those places. I now live at Buckshaw Village in Chorley. But not far. I've worked in Bolton a lot of my life. I live close to Bolton, very close. Ben, where are you from, by the way, Ben? And April saying, live near Manchester. Yes, I do. Bolton's near Manchester as well. Bolton's part of Greater Manchester, isn't it? I'm just chilling now, guys. Obviously, I was speaking about deeper things before. I'm just going with the flow now with regard to the conversation, which I like doing sometimes. I like to speak about serious things, deep things, but not all the time. Sometimes it's good to talk in different ways. You can't be deep all the time, in my opinion. Life shouldn't be serious all the time either. Sometimes it's good to be serious, sometimes it's not. Alpha saying it's so Alpha's from Edmonton in Canada, guys. It's so damn cold. LOL. Plenty of meth heads and drugs. Oh my god, crystal meth. That's crazy shit. Not my scene. You love your beer. But other than that, well, Edmonton is a beautiful place. Downtown's not your cup of tea. It's downtown where the meth heads are and everything, I'm assuming. I bet there's a lot. It's a huge country, isn't it, Canada? Lots of nature there, isn't there? Not that I'm an expert on Canada, by the way, Alpha, at all. I've never been to Canada. Have things got more expensive there is the question. How's the standard of living there? Has it got harder? It has in England, it has in Germany, it has in France. I believe, I could be wrong, that I've heard that it's got harder in Canada too. I think it's, yeah, you're saying. It's not just Canada, by the way. It's the Western world and maybe other countries. I can't speak for every country because how can I do that? But and I'd have to live there to truly understand it. But I do believe that the cost of living's got more challenging, let's say, to say the very least. April saying goodbye, everyone. I've got to catch the buzz. Have a very happy Christmas and an amazing new year. Hope you all do great and make the right choices in life. And please, please, please stay safe. April, you're really kind. Thank you. I hope I'm sending love and respect back to you, April. Thank you for sharing that. It's really nice of you to say. Enjoy your day or whatever it is in your Christmas. Make the best of it, as you know. Yeah. Happy Christmas and New Year to you, April. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for contributing. And thanks for being with us. It's great. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your year and beyond, of course. Alpha then says, yes, it's gotten harder. Yeah, it has. Yeah, it has. Are more challenges times coming upon us. That's why we need to be as conscious and as aware as we can be to deal with the stress and challenges of life. It's not easy out there. Saying a thank you to anyone that's liked and subscribed, by the way. Brad, you're on my TV, LOL. Oh, look at you, I'm on your TV. I've always wanted to be on TV. I suppose I am now, on Sanders TV. Great. Oh, dear. That's funny, I suppose. Yeah. I remember, obviously showing my age, when I was born in 1982. I'm 43 years old. I remember, like, when there was only like 4 TV channels. There was no internet or anything. So to be on TV would be a big dream, I suppose. Anyone could be on TV now. If I'm on TV, anyone could be on TV, on the internet, let's say. Alpha saying that's why manifesting a better world or a new intention is required, but that's the collective. I suppose for now, you've become more aware, more self-actualized. It's navigating the trickiness and the challenges presented by people that are unconscious, protecting your own energy throughout that, helping those that you can, which is why I do what I do. Honest to God, that's why I do what I do. I think that's what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to do this. And it's on a small scale at the moment, and that maybe that's how it is. That's okay. It's my content will attract certain types of people that have a particular mindset, an open-minded mindset, and it's making sense of the world really, and it's trying to expand our consciousness and protecting ourselves in the meantime. That's what my channel's about, really. And manifesting positivity more, manifesting a healthier life. It's hard though sometimes, because imagine if you're like an aware person, you're trying to be the kindest, best person you can, and you're around loads of people that are unconscious and they're messy and they're causing chaos. It's really hard to navigate sometimes, Alpha, as I'm sure you are aware of. I've really suffered from that in my life a lot, and a lot of the time I wasn't aware. Now I am, but looking back, I think, oh shit, I've been going through this for a long, long, long time, man. So it's good to be able to express my thoughts and feelings. I don't usually speak like this, but this is me speaking genuinely, by the way, Alpha. But within imagine I work at a hospital, by the way, Alpha. If you don't know, I work as a scrub nurse. I help surgeons, basically. Knee replacements, hip replacements. I help the surgeons, basically. I help them with instruments, creating a sterile field. I work in a theatre, operational theatre, hospital. And I can't express myself like this there, for instance. I don't always get to express myself in the way that I am. I'm usually the quieter one in a group. I observe, usually. Which that probably sounds contradictory to what I'm doing right now. But anyway, there you go. One lights another. One candle lights another. Absolutely beautiful. That's it. That's it. Even if it's just to one person, mate. It doesn't have to be to everybody. It's all right. It's okay. That's it. That's what it's all about, man. Little by little, Just play your part, play your role. And that works both ways, doesn't it? It doesn't just not just me handing the candles out all the time. It's going to be some people will help me along the way. The right people come into your life at the right time sometimes, I suppose. Cool. Do you enjoy the work? I enjoy the job that I do. I believe I'm good at what I do. I've done it for 4 years. I enjoy the work. You're helping to fix people, basically. Part of a team that's helping to fix people. Spoke very basically. You've got your knees. You've got your knee needs replacement. You can't walk properly. You're doing a knee replacement. You're helping give someone mobility. You're helping to give someone a better quality of life. We forget these things in the hospital sometimes because we're doing this work, but we do it every day, so it becomes like your normal. But it's good to be. I enjoy the work. I enjoy the complexity of the work. It keeps me thinking. I do plastic surgeries, urology. I work in urology. I work in orthopedic spine, neuro spine, orthopedics, which is, let's say, basically it's ankles, it's feet, it's hands, it's shoulders, it's elbows, it's knees, it's hips, orthopedics. And beyond that, clavicle, which is at the top there. People break the bones, let's say orthopedic bones, keep speaking very basically, and you have different instruments and loan kit, very specific instruments that you need to construct. It was interesting. Sometimes I need reps. So you need a rep. Like if you've got a spine case, it's a fusion. You're fusing the spine back together. You know what I mean? Crazy. But there's very specific instruments, and there's you'll have loads of sets, and it's very interesting. So yeah, very specialized what I do. I'm very grateful to be able to do that. Do I enjoy it? Yeah, I do. But some days are challenging. It's the people that make things challenging sometimes. I love the work, not always the people. Some people are lovely, some people are okay, and some people are a pain in the ass. And you've got to be able to protect yourself throughout that. That's just life. I was saying, I know you're not contradicting, actually. That's what light workers do. Yeah, light workers is another topic. I believe that I am that. Not just me, there's lots of other people who do all of that in their own way. Everyone does that in their own way, yes. Try to be as imperfect as that is. And Alpha saying, and another thing that I've learned is not teaching others well. Let's just say, well, yeah, I understand your perspective on how things can get complicated. I'm really sorry, Alpha. I'm trying to understand that. Forgive me. The thing is I've learned is not teaching others. Well, let's just say, yeah, I understand your perspective on how things can get complicated. Yeah, good way. You understanding others. So circumstances can be complicated, and it's individualized to each person, and one size does not fit all, which is what I'm trying to gauge from what you're saying. I hope I've got that right, Alpha. I'm just gonna have a sip of water. I've been speaking for ages, haven't I? Of course, need to in this format, in this way. I'm going to go for a few more minutes. I've not eaten yet today, so I need to eat, of course. I'm going to, a few more minutes and I'm going to stop. Okay? Went quiet for a moment. Alpha saying it was a reference to intention, but yeah, you have the idea. Right, so I've interpreted what you're saying to an extent by the sounds of it. It's hard sometimes, Alpha, to obviously people write on here and then you're reading it in real time, and the written word can get misinterpreted sometimes. I do anyway. I misinterpret things sometimes. I try to understand the best I can. It's a reference to intention. Right, guys, I'm going to call it a day. I think I've been going for 3.5 hours, which is long enough for today, I think. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a really good Christmas. I will be going live. I go on live every Sunday at 10 a.m. UK time. Don't know what that time is in Edmonton, by the way. Alpha saying, I'm currently writing my own story or experiences and using AI. AI, ChatGPT, can be very useful. It's a good tool. It's going to be crazy how AI is going to be integrated into society in the next coming years. It's happening either way, isn't it, Alpha? I think it can really help us as a tool. Depends how you use the tool, though, doesn't it? It's a user sometimes, how they use it. What you're writing your own story, what you're doing, you're writing a book, or what you're doing with that is the question. AI is just smart as hell, PhD level and everything. I think it accesses the computer database of the world. It's smart as hell. Your life and experience. Well, yeah. Well, that'd be a great story that can help others and guide others and inspire others, potentially, depending on what the story is, of course. But I'm going to call it a day, guys. I've been going for 3.5 hours. Sorry. Thank you. Thanks to everyone that's joined in. Thanks to Alpha. Thanks to Big Jim. Thanks to Sander. Thanks to Yorick. Thanks to everybody. Forgive me if I forgot your name. Thanks to Dawn. Thanks to, I forgot her name. Sorry. April. And there's been others as well. Anyway, one moment. I'll read this. And about God and the nature of God, literally at 8 or 9. Wow, okay. Have you got your own channel, Alpha? I'm going to have to go. I'm sorry, Alpha. I'm going to have to go, mate. Thanks for joining in. I need to eat. I'm starving. Thank you for your time. Thank you for anyone that's commented. Thanks for anyone that's subscribed. I hope you all have a nice Christmas. If you don't celebrate it, have a nice December. Have a nice end to the year. Look after each other. Keep growing through the suffering. Be self-aware. I know life's not easy. I know it's not always straightforward, but don't give up. Keep going. You matter more than you ever think, is what I'm trying to say. You matter more than you ever think. Be your best self as best you can. And your best is going to be different every day, isn't it? So it's okay. I've had a really nice chat. Thank you for listening. Thank you for contributing. It means a lot. Hopefully I'll catch you again soon. So thank you for your time and goodbye.